Yo, is this on? Are we back? After a quick hiatus, are we back in the building? DPS podcast, that's Damage per Second podcast on a fantastic Friday night. Feeling great. I couldn't think of something that, that kind of tied in with that begins with F, but don't worry about that, Ain't nothing to worry about. We are here. I'm one of your hosts, SloMoBackSlap, here with my two awesome co-hosts here. I'm gonna introduce them separately because they need to have their moment in the sun. I don't need a moment in the sun. They need their moment in the sun. The first host here I'm going to introduce. He really don't need no introduction, but I'm gonna give him one anyway. Guy is he's very humble about this, but you don't want nobody to know. GameStop employee of the decade, okay? Of the decade. Like they created an award for him. Guess what they gave him? They gave him a gift card for GameStop. So shout out to gaming.
Extra 5% extra credit, training credit.
Exactly. Gaming Forte. What is up, bro? How you doing, man?
What is up? What is up? What is up? Good to be here. Happy to finally be here with the fellas. I missed doing this with you guys yesterday. Other than that, it's been a good day, a very, very good day. I got a chance to sit in a self-driving car and get myself from point A to point B, and it was great. We ain't got to talk about it. I'm just saying, we ain't got to talk about it, and we ain't gonna talk about the name of the brand because it might be divisive. You never know, but I don't know, man. My next car might have to be an EV with full self-driving in it.
Hey, look, there are options beyond the devil cars. Okay, don't there's options out there.
Or as the British say, wank panzers.
Oh my God! listen.
Don't get a wank panzer.
Oh, real quick, that other voice. I need to introduce you before we get too deep into things. Pause. This man does everything. The writer, voice actor.
Sell oranges by the...
he sells. You say you sell oranges by the road? Wow, you do that too?
Dang.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Oranges and blueberries.
And blueberries. Excuse me. Okay.
There's no other way I can afford games.
Bootleg produce retailer as well as actor, voice actor, writer, anything to do with entertainment. This man does it. Ramon Terrell. How you doing, sir?
I am doing all right, and I have to do all of these things. Otherwise, I would be severely underqualified to hang out with such awesome company.
Oh
Just
man,
the most amazing GameStop employee to grace the U.S. Even though he's not appreciated as much as he should be, and the best voice on YouTube.
Oh, that definitely.
J Bartman had the best list, but SloMo got the best voice on YouTube.
Hey, look, man.
And,
I tried to
act like he doesn't.
I tried to be a DJ for Love Talk Slow Jams late night, and they told me to get out. So I think I don't think I'm qualified for that, sir. But I appreciate it nonetheless. But let's
they're just not qualified to recognize talent. But yeah.
Let's get into what we've been playing. It's been a few weeks. It's been 2 weeks. And I feel like a lot. I don't feel like a lot has been going on in as far as gaming news, but a lot has been going on with me and just stuff, personal life and busyness. That's why we missed last week. Apologies for that. But let's start with you, Forte. Forte, what have you been playing, man?
Well, I let's see. I've been playing couple of different things. Going through a second playthrough of Adventure of Elliot, going
A
through second
second
playthrough of that.
playthrough. Okay.
A second through. Yeah, because
Wow.
I actually like, dude, I don't know what it is. It's like I haven't went through a game this fast a second time in a long time, and it was just something about the story, and I was just sitting there, and I was thinking about just getting to a certain point, but you know how you just say I'm going to play to get this, I want to see this thing happen again,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just keep playing after that, and then next thing I know, I'm like, I'm just going to end up finishing this game again. So that's kind of where I'm at with that.
Yeah, I do that all the
'Cause I
time. If
did-
I really love a game, I end up running through it one more time, like almost immediately after finishing it. Or if I feel like it's a game that like it needs more shine, more hype,
Mhm.
more publicity, or sales, I'll go buy it. 'Cause, you know, you could always just do another run through on a different game save, but I'll buy it on a different platform and run through it on that because then that's like just supporting the dev even more. So
Mhm.
that's just me. I'm not saying anyone else got to do that, but you know.
No, yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it too. So I did that, but the thing I put a lot of time in, I finished 007 First Light.
Oh, okay.
I finished it while I was at work doing my overnight, because I had it on I was playing on my brother's ROG Ally,
Hmm.
and it was like really, really good. So I was like, yeah, I'm taking your ROG Ally to work with because I ain't gonna have nothing else to do. Me and the 15 battery banks I took just to make sure that I had enough juice to
Oh
make it through that night.
no! Don't tell me don't tell me the ROG Ally basically is not a handheld.
Oh, brother, that ain't no handheld, brother. That was, hey, listen, when I tell you, I was there from 9 o'clock to about, I want to say 5:20 in the morning while they were doing all that. No power. Even the emergency lights went out. It was like the emergency backups are dead, so we ain't got no power, no lights in the store now. They in the back working on a junction box, and I'm up front like, well, guess I'm just gonna keep doing this. I think I went through one full battery. I didn't need to take as many as I took. I literally, when I tell you I had a backpack full of battery banks, I had a like probably like 6 of them, like
What?
all like 10, like 10,000, like 10,000
Hold on.
milliamps and stuff.
Is that really necessary though?
No, it wasn't, but it was just the fact that I was being very, very over, what's the word, prepared for it.
Yeah.
Not gonna get caught slipping at all.
Oh no, bro, no, brother. Listen,
Like, I'm gonna get
one
my
of the
game
10,000
in there.
listen, one of the 10,000 milliamp ones was full. It was completely full. Another one was like at 48%. The other one was at like 73%. And now it's in there like, I really only need this 10,000 one because it could charge the ROG Ally about 3 times before it dies again. But yeah, so I was playing, so I ended up finishing First Light on that, and I was like, man, this is actually really, really good. And it's like the first time I played an extensive amount of time on the ROG Ally X. It was actually pretty cool. And other than it was like some performance things that was kind of getting to me.
What were you playing
But-
on it? You just playing Elliot?
Huh?
I said, what were you playing on it? Were you just playing Elliot?
No. I played
First
First
Light,
Light.
007.
First Light.
Oh, my
First
bad,
Light.
my bad. You said that. Yeah, First Light. Okay, so
Yeah,
it
First Light.
ran well. It ran
Yeah, it
decent.
ran real. It ran well on there. It was like some
Well, I
little
mean,
frame pacing stuff.
You're
But go
also
ahead.
getting an additional, I guess, battery. So the TDP, I guess, got kind of not unlocked, but you know, it's able to use more batteries, and therefore it was able to kind of push
Oh yeah, because
visuals and performance a little bit more.
yeah, because I pretty much left it plugged up to. I think initially I had it off the battery, but when I plugged it up to charge it, I was still playing in it. I pretty much just left it on the battery on the battery backup the whole time after that while I was charging.
Mhm.
And the cool thing is it actually charged it all the way up before it started dissipating again while I was playing it. So it definitely wasn't pulling too much power to the point where it couldn't even fully charge it because I was still using it. So that's a really, really good thing. But that's what I played the most because that was last Thursday. And then I just been playing Halo for like earlier today I was playing Halo, and then yesterday
Which
I played
Halo
for the
were
first
you
time.
playing, by the way?
Campaign Evolved, baby.
Okay, all right, interesting.
But I got some things. I know it's got a topic, so I'll save all that for the topic.
Yeah,
But
we going a little bit to
but
discuss about that.
yeah, but yeah, because I got some stuff to say about it. But outside of that, that's pretty much it. What about you, Marone? Ramon, what about you, Ramon Terrell? What have you been doing? What have you been doing?
Believe it or not, growing up in school, more than one occasion, someone tried to say my name too fast and said Marone. So you're not alone.
Yeah, I can imagine, because that's exactly what it was. I was saying your name way too fast. But go ahead.
Well, it's been kind of funny. So what was the last thing? I finished Pragmata, the 007 I finished, and then I started Black Flag Resynced. Awesome game. There's, it has a little bit of that leftover, two general jank in the form of like, the parkour as they call it today. The parkour isn't as fluid as like say Unity, but it's a game that precedes Unity, even though it's a remake. So I mean, it's something that's easily forgettable, even when you roll your eyes, because he runs up something, stops, and then drops back down. The combat, that's the sticking point, because I say if combat and like diverse combat is really important to you, then you might want to hold off and maybe wait on a sale or something, because the combat is very simplistic. I mean, you just you attack, and then you can do a dodge, you can do a block, you can do a perfect dodge, and you can do a perfect parry, and those are satisfying. But for me, I kind of it's turned into me creating my own fun with the combat, where I'll just stand there, and when somebody attacks me, I'll perfect dodge, and then he tries again, and I'll perfect dodge again, just to kind of feel like a badass. But the combat is very simple, so that's something to keep in mind. The water is some of the best water I've ever seen. The ocean looks incredible. Running it on my PC, 4080 Super Ryzen 7800 X3D. Without DLSS, I run it maxed out, and I think I was like 70 frames, somewhere around there, at 4K. And then, I decided, I was like, let's just try it out. So I turned on frame generation, and that kicked it up to over 100. And so that was nice. And I no perceived latency. Now, whether, frame gen has gotten better, but I'm also playing with a controller set to 4,000 hertz. So that could have something to do with it as well. But overall, I mean, the new missions get a little bit of smoke. The new missions, I actually, Skill Up doesn't like them. There's a couple of other people who've been like, they were okay, but they weren't great. Like, I thought they added something nice. I thought they added a little bit of flavor to it. I mean, the writing isn't gonna, break the world or anything, but I thought it was nice enough. I thought the new missions were nice enough. So that's something to consider also, that they added some content to it. Other than that, it's been really difficult to stop myself from doing all of the side content. I think I've only done like maybe 3 or 4 chapters of the main quest, because I've been having so much fun. But I've crossed over the 25-hour mark, so I'm probably gonna have to start doing some of that main story, because at this point I'm probably way overpowered. But yeah, and the funny thing is, I've been starting to get that itch to go back to Crimson Desert again. But then I saw something. The
Thank you for belching
in
all of our ears, Forte. We appreciate that.
I was trying to get to my mic, but it came out.
I tried to keep going because I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna keep going.
Hey, this Pierre, this sparkling water, I was drinking it and I tried to reach for my mute button. I ain't making fast enough. I was hoping that you wouldn't.
You really thought that we wouldn't have heard that loud
you're
belt.
supposed to just like Ramon was just gonna keep talking, but then you had to open your mouth and say,
I had to open my mouth. The problem is you opened your mouth.
Yes,
and
I
belched
did.
in everyone's ear. That's the problem.
Guess
not
what?
me.
The world didn't have to have you respond to it. You could have just been like, God dang.
No one had to hear that. Okay,
man. That's all you could have said. That's all you had to say. Ramon, Ramon, this is why I'm great. This is why I love you, Ramon, because you would have just like let that junk roll and been like, dog, you would have been like after the show, Forte, brother, I almost died when you burped. I didn't know what to do, so I just kept talking. But SloMo, on the other hand, because some people could have been asleep. They probably didn't know that it happened.
So you're saying that people would have been bored of Ramon's explanation of what he's been playing, so they have been asleep. So now, not only are you belching in everyone's ear, you were disrespecting.
Some people are like just zoned in. They ain't paying it. They're listening to the soothing voice of Ramon Terrell.
Don't try
Trevor
to fix it
Birdsong.
Don't try to fix it.
They're listening to that soothing voice. So they're in like this. It's just like that girl that was on stage with Usher when everybody said that Usher got dished by her, and Usher actually didn't. He actually said, "This girl don't want to be on stage, y'all." That's what I was hearing when I heard Ramon talk, and I was so comfortable and I was so locked in that I went to drink a drink of water and I couldn't even get to the mute button fast enough because that man, his voice was like, it needs to be an audiobook. And I felt like I was envisioning Ramon Terrell's voice as I was like somebody reading back the Hail Mary Project to me. Great book, by the way, if you've never read it. That's what I was envisioning, but please continue, Ramon. Don't let this man, take your shine and everything I appreciate you for what you were trying to do. And that's all I care about, bro. I appreciate you, but continue, King, continue.
I have nothing to say, Ramon. I'm sorry. Your time was interrupted by loud belching.
You ain't got to see this thing. SloMo got to keep talking. He can't just let it go.
You just talked for like 3 minutes straight.
It was supposed to just be the end of the conversation. I gave the mic back to Ramon after giving him the biggest props I could ever give a man on this earth, and said that his voice is the soothing, like this soothing aura that everybody in their life should hear every day. That's what we should be listening to. Go read his books and go, make sure he does an audiobook so you can listen to it more, more personally and stuff. But Ramon, that's all I'm saying. So Ramon, I'm gonna say it again, Ramon. Please continue and take us to where we want to go, sir. I want to hear you speak.
Oh man, before I go, I have to go get my asthma inhaler. Whew. So hilarious. Okay.
You didn't lost where you was at, right? It was like 10. It was like 10 minutes since you were explaining things.
You threw this man's stuff off. God dang it, man.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Gaslighting per second podcast.
Exactly. Gaslight Forte is his actual name. Go ahead.
No, it wouldn't have even been a thing if someone would have never opened his mouth.
Okay, so Crimson Desert. I stumbled across something where someone was fighting one of those frost guys in black out in the snow, and watching him fight that boss made me wonder just how much more I feel like playing this game. The reason I say that is because I'm okay with difficulty. I'm perfectly fine with difficulty. But Crimson Desert's combat is not good enough for the level of cheapness that its bosses has. Ask anybody. You can't throw a rock without anybody telling you that the boss fights are absolutely
Uh,
horrible.
It's been a long time since I played it, but can you do the whole like? Because whenever I had a ball, except for that one dude in the ice area, because he just two tapped me and I'm dead, so I just left him alone.
I
But
think that's the
everyone
one I'm
else,
talking about.
okay, everyone else, you know how like you go into like the whole like kung fu green screen state where you just kind of like,
Yeah,
you
where he
know,
rotates his arms and
yeah,
absorbs projectiles.
no,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. I'm talking about where you basically just like slow down
Oh, the
time.
focus.
Yeah, the focus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just go into focus, and then when a boss tried to attack me, I parry him and make him look stupid. That's like
Yeah,
basically what I would do to
that's what
get
I've been
past
doing.
bosses that I had difficulty with. But um,
That's actually what I started doing because I saw your video doing it. So that's how I learned that.
well, you're welcome. There you go.
Yes, thank you. But yeah, but Assassin's Creed, they did a really good job. A little bit of technical jank, but nothing like, really noteworthy. I haven't had any crashes. I haven't had anything that's like, been a major disruption to the experience. And then that's about it for me. I haven't played anything else.
All right. Well, I mean, for myself, so I tried out that whole Sword Art Online demo. I forgot. It's called like Echoes of something, Arcadia, Enchilada, something like that. Echoes of something. But it's like if you've
Echoes
ever
of
seen.
echoes of Eincard. I
Okay,
think
is
it's
that
called.
it? Okay, sure. Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
I think
Ein-
that's it. So
Eincrad.
whatever. It's a Sword
Yeah.
Art Online game. It's a lot of people have been trying it out. I tried the demo out. I mean, it was decent, but I may have played it maybe for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. But as I kind of got like further into it, I was like, yeah, I can't see myself playing this for much longer. So like I wouldn't go ahead and uninstall that. It's not terrible, but like it's like I like the anime. The anime was dope for the first season. After the first season, I don't know what they was on. They was on some incest kind of energy that was just weird. And I was like, yo, this is they lost it this quickly. I don't know how you jumped the shark in the second season, but you did it. Congratulations, right? So I couldn't deal with that. And I don't really I'm not saying that has affected how I feel about this game. The game on its own is fine. If you like kind of like action RPG kind of stuff with like semi open world environments and kind of like a mission structure that is typical of what you would see in like co-op, like four-player co-op kind of campaigns and games, then that might work for you. Although I don't think you can play with other people in this. Maybe you can. I don't know. But it just I think the combat wasn't good enough to really for me justify continuing to play it further. So I went ahead and uninstall that. Now I have been kind of going through my backlog of games that had just been sitting on my desktop staring at me like, are you ever going to play me? And so I finally played Streets of Rage 4. For some people gonna be like, "Wow, that came out a long time ago, slow mo." I know.
Oh man, I've been meaning to get to that. I got it on a really good deal on Fanatical. I need to get to
Yo,
that.
anytime you try and play, I'm down, man. That game is dope. I had a great time. I
Oh
only
man,
played for
okay.
like
Look it
so
up.
I really only intended on playing it for like half an hour just to see if it was worth keeping installed. And I ended up playing it for like an hour and a half out. Like it was just music is great. It's got that same kind of style, old school style of that, like that
Oh
8-bit
man,
kind of music that Streets of Rage used to have back on the Genesis. It still does that. It's
16
good.
bit.
It's just a good style scrolling beat 'em up. So I enjoyed that. I jumped back into the Division 2 briefly because Division 2 is got new content. You know, shout out to the looter shooters that still get content. Shout out to you guys. You know, not every looter
Dang.
shooter is still getting content. But the Division
You gotta
2.
kick folks while they're down, man.
Oh no, no, no. I'm not who are you talking about? What folks? I'm not saying anything. So I'm just like I'm just saying that like I'm just saying that, this little shooter still gets new content. And there's new content now. But it's been so long since I've really been like focusing on the division. I feel like now my builds still work because I had them like fully min max. They were very, very focused. Like hardest content doesn't matter. I can get through it. That's it. I was a little bored with those builds back then. So I wanted to kind of just try some new stuff because like since the last time I played, they've come out with a few new gear sets. I didn't even touch the new content yet because I kind of wanted to kind of get my feet wet again. I mean, playing the division is like riding a bike. Like you don't really forget how to play it, but I want to come up with a good Dark Zone build and a good main PvE build to run with because running striker gear set is just a little boring. Like everyone runs that. That's like a basic gear set to have. I want something else. And I have like a ton of gear sets, different builds and loadouts. Some of them skill based, some of them like using the ballistic shield and being somewhat of a tank like that. I've done a lot of that stuff, but it's just like at this point, it's boring. So I need to do something different, and so I'm working on creating a build for that. Um, but yeah, again, shout out to the looter shooters. That's what we call like Warframe. Warframe, is doing all kinds of stuff. They got Tenno. They had TennoCon recently. Warframe's still out here putting out content. It's crazy how these looter shooters are still dropping content like this. It's amazing. I love it. Um,
Yes, sir.
what else here? What else? Oh yeah. Okay, so y'all remember this game called Chained Echoes?
Yeah.
I
That's
remember
been in
it.
my wish list forever. They
So
have a new version, or is that Sea of Stars? I can't remember. They have like a updated, an enhanced version or something.
I think that maybe Sea of Stars, but Chained
Oh,
Echoes.
okay.
So I first played Chained Echoes in Game Pass, and I'm like, yo, this game is like a love letter to Chrono Trigger, to the old school Xenogears. Like if you remember Xenogears, the very first Xenogears that came out on PlayStation One, like it's like a love letter to those games. It's so great, and I'm like, but
Oh,
I started playing it and I got pretty far into it, and then I just got busy, and then I just forgot to continue it. And then I remember it was on sale on Steam for like a really, really cheap price, and I bought it because I'm just like, yo, this game's awesome. I can't believe it's this cheap. And so then I I completely forgot I bought it on Steam, and I thought I was starting the Game Pass version, and then I didn't have a game save. So I said, you know what? Let's just start that great prologue over again. It's so good. Love Chain Echo. So I'm going to finally like play through that and beat that because that game's awesome. And if you haven't played it yet, if you like RPGs, if you like old school kind of JRPGs, play Chain Echoes. Do yourself a favor. Um, Otherwise, I've been playing my usual multiplayer stuff. Fortnite, I just showed that on the Jumbotron. Call of Duty Black Ops 7, the last season is out now. And I'm glad I had enough COD points to pay for it because if I didn't, I was not going to buy it. There's like almost nothing in there that looks interesting, and the cheating is gotten just it's just like at this point, it's just Activision has thrown up the white flag and just said, look, we can't stop these guys. We're not even gonna try. So just, good luck out there. Cause they just like every match is like somebody who's blatantly cheating. Like you're literally looking through walls. Like your ADS on me through the wall as I'm looking in the kill cam and just like, could you at least attempt to pretend like you weren't cheating? It's just at least like two people every match now that's doing that. So it's whatever, bro. I don't know why I still play that game. Anyway, I have been playing the finals though. That's been a lot of fun. The finals is still kicking. Shout out to the shooters out there that's still getting content like that, still putting out content. Shout out to you guys. You guys are awesome. The finals is like on season 9 or some crap like that. Like I still only got but it does do something that remember with Halo Infinite, like if you I wish every game would adopt this. If you buy a battle pass, you don't have this pressure with Halo Infinite as well as the finals to make sure you finish that battle pass before the season is up. Because like you can just jump back in and finish your battle pass at your own pace. And then you can go get the other battle passes in the other seasons when you're ready. And so I thought that was pretty dope. There's like 9 seasons. Some of them I'm like, I don't really care for this, but the finals has got so much content now. There's like quick cash, there's cash out, there's cash. That's not a real thing, but I'm just saying there's just everything's got about cash in it because even when you die, you flow into coins. You just it's a money thing. Um, but they got like team deathmatch. You just want to do team deathmatch. You just don't feel like thinking. You can just do that. And yeah, it's the finals is pretty awesome. So I was playing that. I am thinking about dropping Impulse. I'm just not interested enough to keep playing the game. I feel like the changes they're making sometimes are not for the best. Like some of the changes they're doing this thing where they're basically listening to the mouse and keyboard losers who whine about aim assist all the time because they're bums. And so they're like nerfing aim assist and then they're also like, oh, but we're adding ADS. But it's like they put ADS in like this experimental playlist for like 2 seconds and then it's gone. And it's like, okay, it's coming. And it's just like, bro, like just let me know when y'all got your stuff together. Like, I just don't really I guess I'm just not in the mood to waste my very limited time, disposable time on a game that's not quite there yet. Like they really probably should have just waited on this game. I feel like they lost the momentum that they had already, and like it's almost nobody playing it. Yeah, I have that on the list to talk about? I do not. So I'll just say this: like 1047 Games, the developer of Impulse, they went through layoffs again, and it hit the team that's working on Impulse. So at this point, I don't know what to expect from the game because the people that you had working on it, they don't work there no more. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. But all that said, I also have played Halo Campaign Evolved, and like Forte, we'll discuss that when we get to the topic later on. But gentlemen, are you guys ready?
Yep.
Let's do it.
Hold on. Arcade said Slomo bought the Nicolas Cage skin. I did not buy that skin. Okay, that's no. I refuse to buy it. Even though it did look like Nicolas Cage, but you like all the skins in Call of Duty are trash. So no, I did not buy that. I just need to clear the air real quick. All righty then.
Oh really? Oh really?
First rapid fire topic up, and Ramon, you're gonna love this one. The first script for the Mistborn movie has been completed. Brandon Sanderson tweeted this out earlier this week. The Mistborn series is it's like a multiple trilogies at this point, but the very first one was a trilogy written by one of the very best fantasy writers out there, Brandon Sanderson. He has made a deal with Apple on Apple TV to have the Mistborn series uh, converted into movies, as well as his the Stormlight Archives, which is like what is it, Ramon? Like 6 books in, and 2 novellas, right?
I think it's 6, up to 6 so far.
Okay, 6 books in, and for anyone wondering, oh no, not another Game of Thrones. Brandon Sanderson will definitely finish the series before the TV series catches up to him. So you don't have to worry about a George R. R. Martin Game of Thrones situation there. But
Yeah, he's much more prolific and focused.
yes, way more focused, not lazy at all, and not waiting for other people to finish his work for him. So uh, Ramon, what are your thoughts about this?
Well, aside from a healthy dose of very friendly jealousy,
Mm.
I think it's awesome. I mean, it's a worthy series. Um, and it's funny you mentioned that because the what do you call it? Dragon Steel team emailed me and asked if I wanted to come back to do Dragon Steel this year. So I'll be going back, and hopefully, if I can catch him for like 0.3 tenths of a second, I can congratulate him on it. You know, because it's not so easy to hang out with him as it used to be. Ever since he's
Oh,
been
he's big
showing
time
the
now. He's big time now. Huh?
Oh, dude, it's crazy. Like he's still like he's still such a cool guy though. Like I mean, the last couple years ago, the last one I went to, like he took time out to come visit the people who had tables at the convention, and so we got to catch up for about like 5 minutes while he was signing. Actually, while he was signing your book,
Oh
and
yeah,
so that
yeah.
was
I got a
cool.
signed copy. I appreciate you for getting that done for me, man.
Yeah, no doubt, man, no doubt. But yeah, so it'll be cool to hopefully I get to see him and then congratulate him and talk about it a little bit, and maybe he can throw in a good word for me to maybe small side character or something. But yeah, that's I just finished the third book in the initial trilogy, and that was, man, what a ride. So
Oh
uh
man, I remember when you said you were starting that. This is how terrible I am with reading books now. Cause like I definitely started my reread, my third rereading of the Mistborn trilogy. And I may be like maybe 30 pages into the first book. And I just got distracted with stuff. Like I started while I was on vacation and just,
well, have you read
kids.
the other four? Have you read the second series?
I have read I think the first book is like called Alloy of Law. Is that it, right?
Well, that's of the second series, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I
Alloy
read that one and I read part of the second book, and that's as far as I got.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
he's
I'm gonna start
look
those.
for those who don't know, this guy's a machine. Like he's like
Yeah,
juggling
he
like
is.
three different series at once, and he's like dropping a book a year. And then he just decided like one year he's just like, I'm just going to do a bunch of like completely unrelated different stories, and then just release them. Here you want the books, here they are. It's just like, dude, do you ever stop writing? Like it's like he writing in his sleep. It's crazy. So my bad. Go ahead.
Well,
Continue on.
he any little bit of time. Like there was this writers seminar that he taught at for several years, and he was talking about like one of the students drove him to picked him up from the airport and was driving him to the hotel where it was held, and he was like, yeah, talk to Brandon for a while, talk shop a little bit, talk this and that, and he's like, and then when conversation ran out, he fished out his laptop and started writing, and he wrote the whole way in the car the whole way to the airport. Like he is indeed a machine like that. But the funny thing, because one of the last few times I got to talk to him, I was talking about how I burned myself out writing 7 to 10,000 words a day, and he was like, he was just like, yeah, that's way. He's like, well, if you can do it, you can do it. But he's like, dude, I don't even write half that in a day. Like his word
Hmm.
count isn't anywhere near that high, but it's consistent.
It's
You
consistent.
know,
Yeah. That's
so
good. That's good. That's good. That's interesting. Um, Forte, any thoughts on this? I know. I think you may have because, like, I remember. Shout out to Randolph Thor. Me and Rand were gushing over the Stormlight archives, and I think you said you
Hmm.
wanted to start reading it. I don't know how far you got, but any, at least to the degree of like the TV series, which I think more people will gravitate towards. You have any
Yeah.
interest in any of this stuff?
No, I definitely do, and I did. I do have the. I did pick up the books and stuff, or some of the books, not all of them. So I just haven't started reading them yet. But yeah, especially the show and everything. I think, like for myself and a lot of other people, that will be something that will definitely get more people into it. Like I didn't like, okay, perfect example with the Doom movie coming out. Part three comes out this holiday. Can't wait for it.
Hmm.
Like the
Me
show, the
too.
movie is what got me going back to start reading the books of them and stuff. So um that's going to be a huge vehicle for a lot of people
Yeah.
going on into the future and everything, especially if I already know it's going to be great because all the expedition is all pretty much out the way. It's basically just let's just it's just going to be balls to the wall, you know, when it comes to this third one. And I think it's going to go back and get a lot of people wanting to go back and read stuff like that. And I think the story like archive books and stuff are going to be kind of the same way, especially if they adapt it really, really well to TV and film like that. So I'm
Yeah.
definitely a person that already have some of the books, but I'm definitely also interested in the live action format of it too.
Yeah. I think something that like, and I'm a very like, I'm like I'm a visual reader, and what I mean by that is that like I have the way I read is that um I'm more the way I enjoy books is I will like I will picture in my mind the things that are being described in a book. And so if you're a very good writer that can be very descriptive in the environment, describing how characters look, describing how a fight is being depicted very well, I will like gravitate to that kind of stuff really, really well. And Sanderson really nails that. I can't wait to see the way combat is done in both these series because the way
Yeah, that's
combat
gonna be
in
crazy.
right, you need to think about because like in Mistborn, and I'm not going to like spoil anything for people, but like in Mistborn, like you have these people who have abilities that are focused around metals. And so some of their abilities, like the ability, like it may be perceived like flying, but really what it really is like a magnetic pull towards a particular um kind of metal. And so like some of these people will like drop a coin on the ground and use it to like to launch themselves in the air or throw a metal in a direction and then use it to kind of like send themselves in that direction as well. So and they're doing this almost like automatically as they're like fighting each other with like swords and knives and guns and stuff. So it's just it gets very dynamic. And the way I imagine it, like it could get real vertical, like with people flying all over the place. And I'm just like, man, I can't wait to see how that's depicted. And
What's gonna be? Oh, I'm sorry.
no, no, I was gonna say real quick, in the Stormlight archive, there's a lot of stuff like that, but then you got characters that can literally change the direction of gravity around you, where they could be like you're fighting them, and then all of a sudden the ceiling is the ground, and everyone else is just falling, and this person just flips to the ceiling, and they're just like fighting like as if it's normal for them. And that kind of thing, this is why I'm happy Apple TV is doing this because I don't know if anyone else has noticed. I know you guys have noticed this, but like Apple TV is the only one that I think is really challenging HBO in terms of quality. Like Apple TV's content, it's like doesn't matter what it is. You want comedy, you want drama, you want action, you want sci-fi or fantasy. They are killing everything. Like Netflix ain't got nothing on them. Nobody in Prime can't handle them. Nobody can touch them. Apple TV is like I'm watching Silo. Like the third season, I think it's the third season. The third season of Silo is going right now. Silo is fantastic. Watch Silo. It's great. And I'm happy Apple TV is doing this. When I found out that like he's got full creative control over what happens with it and it's Apple TV. Like the level of quality, that's the only thing that I've been worried about with like the adaptations. And I've been saying I think Mistborn should have been should be a movie based off of like 3 books. Like it would be a real easy like movie trilogy to do that. And Stormlight Archives is so deep. And I think Sanderson said he wanted to do like 10 books of that. So you would definitely need to have a TV series to do that. But the cool thing about if you direct things really well and you write it really well and you got good just good a good production team around you, so much of what Sanderson may take like 3 or 4 pages to depict in a book can be shown to the watcher in like a scene in like 30 seconds. So it's just like a lot of the build up and the exposition and all that happens in like the first 100 or so pages of The Way of Kings. I think they could do in like an episode or two. But really kind of blend in a lot of like the action of what's going on. Because I know some people who have tried to read A Way of Kings have been like, hey, it don't really get started until like 150 pages in. It's just like true. But, once it gets started, you just like you can't put it down. But I really am excited for what Apple TV is going to do with this because it's just if you got like excellent content that's written, and then you have a company or a platform that already has a high quality bar already, like this thing might be like the next big thing. So I can't wait for it. I know I'm just kind of gushing here, but anything else you guys want to say before we move on to the next one? That's kind of a similar but more grounded towards video games topic.
Yeah, I
I'm
think I'm
good.
good.
Say again.
No, we're good.
We're good.
All right, hold up. It's been a minute, so sorry. Some of my stuff here don't work. Here we go. Elden Ring. You know what? I'm not gonna do the all reallys because I just freaking it's not working. So Elden Ring. It has been announced that the Elden Ring movie has finished filming, which I didn't even know that was filming, and I didn't even know they had a cast. I knew they had announced the movie was happening. I didn't even know they had finished filming, but they not only had finished filming, but they say the movie will be released March 3rd, 2028. Now, Ramon, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you finish filming this movie in say July of 2026 and you need almost 2 years to release it, that tells me it's going to go through an extensive post-filming process of special effects and all kinds of stuff to kind of like really
100%.
bring the world of the lands between the light, which makes a ton of sense if you think about it. Like if just all the creatures, the bosses, the way the world looks, like just going to New Zealand and filming in New Zealand ain't gonna be good enough. Like you need to actually get into, some production company and get the special effects going to really make it look like Elden Ring. So
Yeah,
and,
it's a huge undertaking.
yeah, and then I looked at the cast. Have you seen the cast?
No, I haven't.
So remember the girl from Alien Romulus, and she was also in the second season of Beef, Kaylee
Mhm.
Spaney. I think the people are rumoring her to play Rogue in the MCU, the X-Men, and the X-Men MCU. She's in this.
Okay.
Nick Offerman from Parks and Recs is in this. Um, I'm probably about to butcher this girl's name, but Sonoya Mizuno from House of Dragon is in this. She plays like I forgot the Lord of Whisperers or some crap like that. I don't know. She she looks like part Asian. I don't. If you watch House of Dragon, you know what I'm talking about. But like, yeah, she's in this. They got a pretty good cast, so I'm interested in seeing how this goes. Even though like it's literally like nearly 2 years away, so got some time. But Forte, what are your thoughts about this Elden Ring movie?
Wait, the Elden Ring movie, dude. I know a lot of people. We actually were talking about that at work the other day. A lot of people were coming into the store One person, I think the conversation struck up by the fact that they were looking for Herb Tree,
Mm.
and we
You
didn't
have that
have the
on
one.
disc? You have the DLC on disc?
They had it on. Yeah, they
Oh,
had
okay.
the version. They had the DLC on disc. So they were looking for that version because you got the standard, then you also have the one that comes with the disc version too. And
Okay.
they were looking for that version so they didn't have to buy the the digital copy too.
Mhm.
So I found a copy that had them, and they said, "Yeah, I heard about the movie, and the movies actually got me really, really excited to really, really jump back into it because I played it before, but I never beat it." And I was
Mhm.
like, cool. I was like, yeah, that's actually really cool. So found him a story, had it. Then he was talking to one of my other associates that's like really super heavy into Souls games and stuff. So yeah, that was actually pretty cool to see that how some people that didn't even finish the game, but as soon as he heard about the movie and stuff, it made him say, you know what, I actually really, really enjoyed that game. It just kind of beat my butt, and I went to go play something else. Now I want to go back and do it again because there's an actual movie coming out about it. And he said he really, really liked the atmosphere. For myself, I jumped into it. I never finished it. I didn't get far enough to like really, really, have a real big opinion about it, other than the fact that the little bit that I did play of it seemed really good and I liked that much of it. But that also was during the time when I was like bowing at the throne of Destiny. And that was all I was playing at that time. So yeah, this definitely puts it back on my radar. And there's a lot of games I started going back and playing that I never got a chance to play before due to that 10-year stint that I had with that other game. So yeah, it was actually really cool to hear that somebody was once again using adaptation of a movie to bring them back into something that they are familiar with when it comes to a game. And he said, I actually enjoyed my time with it. I just,
That's the
put it
point.
down. I put
That's
it
what
down
I think that's
because of
going
that.
to be the way that in this new day and age of like gaming, where they figure out how to build an audience and get more gamers in. It's when things are so expensive and so difficult. It's going to be cross media because, like, if you look at like, for example, I'll bring up Cyberpunk as an example. Just releasing the Cyberpunk Edge Runners season 2 trailer had the Cyberpunk game sales jump like 200%. Every time there is a like some kind of video game property is shown and it's got a TV show, they pull out a trailer, or the game comes out and it's great. And I'm not the game, the TV series or movie comes out and it's really good. Like you see the video game sales skyrocket. And so this is, well, not every time. If it's not good or it doesn't really move the needle, like say the Dragon Age TV series that was complete garbage, then it'll do nothing. But something like this, like Elden Ring getting the kind of cast that they have, like some real big name actors in there. I think that's going to do wonders for a game that's already at this point. That came out in what 2022? So it's like already 4 years old now. When that finally comes out and it's like a 6-year-old game, there will be people going, oh, because this is what I think they're going to do. I think the movie is going to be based on Queen America. I think Kaylee Spaney, this is all speculation, is probably playing Queen America. And it's probably going to be like her rise to power, which all that lore stuff was written by George R. R. Martin, which maybe about 15 minutes ago we was just, dissing him, deservedly so. But the man is a really great writer. So when he does actually gets off his lazy behind and write something, it's really good. So he wrote all the lore for Elden Ring. And so if you like Game of Thrones stuff, kind of dig into the lore. Look at something like Small Town's YouTube channel, and if you look at those videos that really
Oh
break
yeah,
down
there's
the
several
lore,
good ones.
it's really fantastic stuff, even though the actual
Yeah.
story of Elden Ring is very bland. But like I feel like that's what they're going to do. And if you really do that, right? And then people go, man, this is based off a video game. and then they get to play the video game and they get to see like the aftermath of everything that happened in the movie. I feel like that really works. That's what, to go back to Edge Runners or to what's the name of the League of Legends show? I remember the name of it, but it's like it's got awesome animation. I can't remember the name of that. But like both of those TV series are like prequels. They don't directly tell the story of the games, but like that kind of keeps it fresh, because if you tell a story that's really good, that's based around the series, the universe, and it's a prequel to it, then it keeps, if people, this is how cross media works, if like they really love what they watched, they go get the game, and then now it they understand everything that's happening in the game, and it's still new to them, even though it's an old game, if that makes sense. But yeah, sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead, man.
No, I'm good. Yeah, I mean, you hit everything else. I mean, that's kind of where I'm at with it, but I don't have anything else to really add to it.
Ramon, I know. Did you get around to? I know me and Luca was helping you with some things in Elden Ring. Did you get around to finishing the main story or the DLC? Erdtree?
Main story, yes. Main story, yes. DLC, no.
Maybe we need to go back and jump in there and do some
Man,
things. I don't know, man. Maybe we get, we wake Luca up and see if she wants to, yell at us, as we die over and over again. I'm just
man,
saying.
I ain't never played co-op multiplayer when I've been nervous about messing up.
Right. Lucas just
Yeah,
starts screeching in your ear. Why am I saying
yeah.
that? Why would she die, girl, man? It's just shout out to Luca.
Well, no. That's okay. The worst one is when she's quiet and you're like, I'm
Oh
sorry.
yeah,
It's
she's
okay.
mad. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. No,
Yeah. Go ahead.
no, I've reconciled to the fact that I do not like From Software.
Oh,
Um,
Lord.
is as far as my first question when I heard about the movie, my first question was, have they confirmed that swords will clip through the walls? Um, like it's and just to clarify to people to the Get Good crowd who might be
Oh
listening,
yeah,
I have
the
I
FromSoft
have
fans are, yeah,
yeah, the From Soft fans, they can do no wrong. But I
right.
have completed multiple From Soft games. Um, I have grown up on games that are much harder than the games that we play today. I've been playing since back before the NES. Um, but the technical jank gets on my nerves,
Oh, man.
and once I got to the point, once I played some Souls-like games that have dodges that don't involve diving into a roll, it made it look
A
even more
barrel roll.
ridiculous. I can't like I can't tell you how ridiculous it feels rolling around on the ground against this epic boss. Now, all that to say that I'm not saying Elden Ring isn't greatness. Elden Ring is a true, like, it's a generational game. It's, like I said, I completed the game. The game was amazing. I explored a ton in it.
Yo,
But what is this?
sadness
Ramon's
in the
going to
chat said,
rage quit the movie.
yeah, he said you gonna rage quit the movie. Keep
Yeah, that's
going in
what it
on the
sounds
game.
like.
Side story on that. There was only one thing in all of the difficulty and all the deaths and everything. There was only one thing in that game that made me want to rage quit. And that was when I'm trying to enjoy a nice co-op session with my friends and fools keep interrupting the game by invading. Like that I think that's the number one reason why I can't stand FromSoft. Like the fact that you can't turn that off. Like I don't want someone else coming into my game and ruining the experience while I'm trying to enjoy co-op with my friends. Like the fact that they don't let you turn it off is extremely annoying to me.
I
The
don't
only
mind it.
time though,
I
I
honestly
hate
don't
it. When I
mind it.
tell you I hate it to the point of resentment. I can't stand that mechanic. Like
Yeah,
whoever thought it up, I just want to have a little talk with them.
sometimes, like sometimes I was be co-oping with Luca, and like we're like saying I forgot what it's called, the saddle tree. No, no, that's not it. What's the name of the tree where the area that you get to um the rock girl? What's the name?
Oh, Melania.
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 Yeah, whatever that area is, right? And like
Oh,
so
the not the herb tree, but the
it's something tree.
yeah, because the one that Mikola planted.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whatever that tree is, right? So like you're in that area and it's like rare, like there's a church and there's like a huge castle and everything. You're trying to get towards where she is. And like we were getting invaded all the time. And it was just like people be smart with it. Like they'd be waiting in a room, and then you just kind of just start walking up and Luke is really good at like detecting when like she sees the notification someone has invaded. I was always missing it because I'm just too busy doing other stuff. Oh, what's this? What's
Yeah,
that?
half the time I would miss it too. Right.
And even though I had already ran through it, because like I had a co-op character, I was like running things like because like I beat the game 4 times, and one of my characters was like my character that I was co-oping with Luca with, and so I've seen this stuff before, but sometimes I just wasn't like unless I was like super focused, like wasn't super focused on things. Like I'm not looking and exploring at so many different things, and so I'm just not paying attention. And then some random guy come out of nowhere and just start swinging at you. You just like, whoa, where'd this guy come from? And I always have fun with it because it was just like seeing the other people's builds and seeing what they came up with, and then watching them like kind of run out of MP, watching them like go from being the aggressor to now they running, or if they're really a real smart invader, they will use the environment to attack you, like
Yeah,
they'll
they'll
bring.
tap the enemies and have them going after you.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's smart. That's smart. I love that stuff. Like I had no problem with
I'm going to edit my language and say
it.
but there were only two instances that I found it gratifying. One was when some jerk came in
Thank you, Chopper.
and
It's called
interrupted us. Hallecktree, yeah,
the Hallecktree. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Hallecktree, yeah. And he tried to escape down this tunnel, like this sewer grate. But the problem is it went into a different area, so he couldn't leave the area. So he kept trying to go down, and we kept flashing him, and then he come back up and then try to go down again, and we slashed him, and we just stood around that hole and then kept hitting him until he died. But the one that I really enjoyed was when we were in the sewers and Luca was farther down and we got invaded and I saw him, he was running down the tunnel. So I stood right in the middle and then I told you slow mo and you were the closest. So I was like, just wait by the side of the tunnel. So you just stood right by the side of the tunnel and he's just running and I'm just standing there waiting. And as soon as he got close, you came out, and then he just put on the brakes and tried to run away. And
See, it's like that
tore
stuff's
him
fun.
up.
It's fun and it's
Yeah,
very
that was the only time it
dynamic.
was fun.
It's very dynamic because you just if you're PvPing, you just never know when it's going to happen. So it's good. It's a good time. It's a good time. But
My
we
thing
can
is just give me the option to turn it off. That's all. But
I am, but to get back to the topic and finish up, I think the movie is going to probably do really awesome. The fact that it's taking they have so
yeah,
much time to work on everything, and they finish filming. To me, tells me like they're really going to try to recreate the way that the lands between looks, and that world's just it's a people and I'm also a critic of it. Like their actual like textures and how you know like performance wise and the quality of certain things is not great. Like their game engine is not that good.
Don't even get
And
me on a roll.
but their art, like their artists are on another level. Like the
Second to
armor,
none.
the way the worlds
Second to
look,
none.
the imagination that they come up with to have certain aspects in the environment be so unique and different looking. Like there's just really nothing else like it. And so I mean there is other things like it, but like it's usually people trying to copy what they doing. So I'm interested in seeing how the the other realm of media finds a way to recreate that. So yeah. We can move on to this next topic here. You guys ready?
Yep.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
Sandfall Interactive, who is the developer of Clair Obscure Expedition 33, gave everyone an update on their port to the Switch 2, which unfortunately, according to their chief technical officer and lead programmer Tom Gillerman, I think I got that right. A lot of features of Unreal Engine 5 don't work on the Switch 2 because Unreal Engine 5 is a um
Extremely demanding.
yeah, that's a nice way of saying it's extremely demanding, and the Switch 2, of course, is not the most up to date hardware out there. But he did reveal that Epic is creating a new version of Lumen called Lumen Light, which would be less demanding than Lumen, which uses software-based ray trace global illumination, which is, we all know ray tracing is very demanding. But this would be, I guess, a light version of that. I'm thinking that ray tracing won't be in there, but whichever. However, it actually works, we'll have to see. So there is a chance that Expedition 33 can be coming to the Switch 2. They did say at one point earlier this year it would be out this year, but based on these latest comments, I'm thinking this year is out. But seems to be coming to the Switch 2 at some point. Ramon, what are your thoughts on this? Are you gonna get this on the Switch 2? Is this something that you
No.
might jump on? Okay, cool.
No. I mean, I'm I'm happy for, assuming they can get it to work. I'm happy for people who have a Switch 2 and don't have the other consoles to get it on. That would be great if they can get it working. It'd be interesting to see how well it runs in handheld mode. But hopefully they can get it running because it's a game that nobody should miss if they like that type of game. It's an amazing game. Obviously, I don't need to say that. I mean, it cleaned up everything. So
Yep,
yeah,
game of the
hopefully they can
year.
get it running. Yeah, game of the year, game of the universe, game of everything. I mean, they won every award there is to win. Or almost anyway. You know, even one they probably shouldn't have, but still, I mean,
Whoa,
you
whoa,
know,
whoa,
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 wait, hold
whoa,
up.
whoa. What do you mean by that? Hold up now. Hold up. What do
dude,
you think? Who should have won?
they beat out Kingdom Come Deliverance for best RPG, and I'm not sure they should have beat out that game for that.
Okay, there's certain people I'm hoping are not in the chat right now that I hope they don't clip that. Okay, look,
Oh,
I'm not
boy.
saying,
Kingdom Come
dude, Kingdom Come
Deliverance.
Deliverance.
Well, I will say this: Kingdom Come Deliverance is a. See this? Okay, so let me
It's
ask
a
you this,
That is
runner-up,
an
Ramon.
bro.
RPG.
No, 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 no. Let me
It's
no,
a
let me ask.
runner-up.
Let me ask Ramon this because I had this. I actually picked Kingdom Come to win that category due to certain things, not because it was a better game. I just felt like Kingdom Come Deliverance for RPG is the
That's
best
what I'm saying.
RPG that came out.
RPG.
It's
Yes,
the
RPG. I'm
It's
not
more.
saying it's a
Wait,
better game.
wait, hold
That
up.
is a better. It is
Expedition
a.
33 is a RPG as well. So
It's
like,
it's not a
Yeah, it
pure
is.
RPG like Kingdom Come. Like Kingdom Come is
Kingdom
a
Come Deliverance
it's
is
pure
really,
RPG.
really,
There's
really
okay, you literally
detailed.
are just making up a thing. Pure RPG. There's no such thing as pure RPG. That's just that's not a thing.
It's not there's not a thing as pure RPG, but I get what he's saying. Like he's basically like it's a super hardcore RPG, but it's also still approachable. Like people who
Yeah.
aren't into like super detailed in-depth RPGs still can play Kingdom Come Deliverance, even though it's a hardcore RPG. I mean it like that's the only award where I feel like they should have won that.
Yeah,
And I'm
I
I'm not
don't
saying
disagree with that.
I'm not saying by me saying that, and like Expedition 33 was my game. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying it wasn't a good RPG. It was a fantastic RPG. But I just feel like Kingdom Come Deliverance just did it better. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like Expedition 33 was freaking brilliance. It was brilliance. But in that one category, I feel like
Yeah.
Kingdom Come Deliverance 2
I don't
is better.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I do think I had Kingdom Come Deliverance winning the RPG category, but there is just so many different things that Clariscure does that just makes it a better game overall. And a lot of it has to do with just the approachability of it, the funness factor, the music, the animations, like when you're
The
you're in
story,
that,
the characters.
well, the story in Kingdom Come. Well, hold on. Let's not take away the story from Kingdom Come Deliverance. It's
it don't
actually
touch
really good.
Expedition 33 story.
No, it's just that it's a different story. Like, first of all,
Every story is different.
Let me ask you this. No, let me ask you this. Did you play Kingdom Come Deliverance?
No.
Any of it? Why didn't you play? Is it just because it wasn't your type of game?
I watched the combat and I thought that reminded me of like Elder Scrolls combat where the people look like they're drunk swinging swords at each other. And I said, nah, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm just being honest.
That's all. Okay. I mean, okay. I mean, listen. To me, you know what other games look like that? Like Chivalry look like that too. And
that's
what's
fine.
another game that looked like that too? Chivalry, For Honor was kind of like that. Like it's more of that real. It's like it's the thing. Kingdom Come goes with that
like
more
a PvP game.
But I'm saying, but it goes with that more realistic kind of gameplay, and it also goes to like when you say, I would probably say Witcher, their combat kind of falls in that same thing. It's
but
just
Witcher
not as good as
terrible.
Oh, it is terrible. It's terrible. But I'm saying, but just the way that it goes about portraying
a lot
itself.
better when you understand it, though. Like I know the Witcher 3 combat. When I first started Witcher 3, I thought the combat was terrible, but about like several level ups later, and like I don't know, maybe couple dozen hours in, and once I leveled them up more abilities, once you understand the combat, it's not nearly as terrible as it's made out to be.
Let me just say this. Let me just say this. Look, and I respect y'all opinion here about Kingdom Come Deliverance too.
I expect y'all to feel, but y'all wrong.
But basically y'all wrong because RPGs are like the one genre where story is like way more important. I'm not gonna say more important than gameplay, but story and characters are on the same level as gameplay. You could play a first-person shooter and not give a damn about the characters or the story and enjoy yourself if the gunplay's good. You can play a action adventure game, and if the story's goofy and stupid, you could just kind of just laugh it off or whatever, and just enjoy the dynamicness, the verticality, whatever's going on in that action adventure game. RPGs, the ones that we hold in our memory, the ones that we think back on after decades, are the RPGs that have great characters and great stories. I can bring up Knights of the Old Republic, and just anyone who's played through and beat that game will immediately think about Revan and the revelation of who Revan was the entire time. that plot twist. I could bring up Dragon Age Origin, and people would think about the Lands Meet and all the other things that happened in that game. I could bring up
Oh,
Chrono Trigger and people thinking about all those awesome characters and what happened to Chrono. If you played the game, you know what I'm talking about. I can go down the list of the legendary RPGs, whether they be JRPG, Western RPG, CRPG, action RPGs. All of them are legendary for what? The characters and the story. What do people talk about when they talk about Mass Effect? The suicide mission. And how the characters that you built up and cared about and fought with could die based upon your decisions.
Wait, but that
What?
game is
Don't,
not.
I'm monologuing right now. Don't cut off my monologue.
You about to make me crap over Mass Effect
You cutting
2.
off my mind. I'm not finished. I'm not finished.
Greatest game ever. You about to make me go ahead, SloMo.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm right. That's why. You realize I'm right.
You about to make me crap on this
Great
game.
characters and great stories is what makes RPGs great. Tell me where are the great characters and great stories in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2?
Oh my god.
Where they at, bro?
I can answer. I can say something now.
Yes.
Which one was a better? Which one was a?
No, answer my question.
No. Because I'm trying to be respectful to the GOAT, to the greatest game of all time, Mass Effect 2. What makes Mass Effect? So
you're not going to answer my question. You're not going to answer my question.
Oh no. Okay, you want me to answer? Okay, I'm gonna answer your question. So to me, it's not. To say that Kingdom Come Deliverance doesn't have a good story is like lying to ourselves. It has actually a really good story. Okay. It's actually really deep. It actually tells us. It actually. The thing is,
name
it's also
a great character in that story.
SloMo. I didn't finish the game. I didn't finish because it's not a game for me. I'm not the one that's going to go out and play, but I can also say that looking at that game and the little bit I played of it, like RPG wise, I can see, and I played more of Claire Obscura than that.
Name one character in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Keith. I'm gonna call you my brother now. Jesus Christ, this sounds like
Keith Sweat. Keith Sweat's in the game.
Keith Thomas. By the way.
Keith Thomas. The dude named Keith in like the 1600s. All right.
I will sit here and tell you as a fan, a person that loves Mass Effect 2 does not even hold a candle to the RPG elements that the first one have. The story overall in Mass Effect 2 is significantly better than this first one. But the story progression, the character progression, everything is better in the second one. And the combat is better in the second one. But the one thing that is lacking that the first one had that the second one kind of scaled back on is the RPG elements. So when someone tells me that they feel like Mass Effect 1 is a better RPG than Mass Effect 2, I cannot argue with them because they completely neutered the RPG element compared to what the first one used to be.
But that's a different discussion altogether because there are deep RPG elements in Expedition 33. The people who don't recognize that are the people who golden pathed Expedition 33. And what I mean by that is they got the Act 3 and they just said, I'm gonna just go ahead and finish the game. I'm not gonna do any of the other content. I'm not gonna challenge myself. I'm just going to beat the game at level 40 something and then say, yeah, I beat the game. It was cool. Great story, bro. And keep it moving. They're the people who
Kingdom Come Deliverance doesn't give you that option. You have to play it. You have to play it as a pure RPG all the way through. There's no
define pure. You keep saying pure RPG.
Okay, you have to play.
What is that?
Dude. Oh, realistic. Okay, put this. Okay, when I say pure, I keep wrong words.
Because there's those things are pure RPG.
Realistic RPG.
So Western RPG, because like really, because honestly, because this is where we get into preferences. Only Western RPGs do that.
Well, first of all, most of all the
Because like
the
think about Elden
Eastern.
Ring. Elden Ring is RPG. Is RPG as well, right?
Well, it's fantasy RPG, yeah.
But no, it's RPG. There's different
It is
subgenres
fantasy
to it, but it's still an
RPG.
RPG,
Yes,
right?
I
So,
Yeah.
think what I
but
think
Elden Ring doesn't do all that.
I think what
Tales of
But
Arise
it has
doesn't
a
do all
word, but
that.
it has a but okay, so I feel like okay, I'll tell you exactly what I gotta put my words together. I feel like it's way easier to make a world that is like this expanded universe and make people love that more than it is to have something that's grounded in a reality that have certain things that you
no,
have
not
to
necessarily.
adhere to.
Okay, so you're
Not
saying
necessarily.
because
No,
this
not necessarily.
because Kingdom Come Deliverance takes place in a real country in a real time period where real things were happening, that it's harder to write great stories than to
I
create
don't think
like
the
a whole new
story.
world.
I don't think the story is the problem. I think the story is actually pretty good. I'm just talking about
Even though you can't
just
name
the
any
Forte,
system.
characters
it's actually as
and
far
can't
as
name any great moments that happened in those stories. But
Oh my
continue.
god.
as far as the Forte, you got it a little bit backwards with in some respects with regard to it
Well, like I
being
said, I'm
easier
probably
to
not explaining it the correct way that I want to,
well,
but go ahead.
well, no, it's because like with something like Kingdom Come Deliverance, you like it's so realistic. Like you have to do your homework with all the blacksmithing, with the the cooking, the potions, the physics of fighting and everything, and then the world and how the world was back then and so forth. Whereas
Right.
with something like an a high fantasy or an epic fantasy, you you might have to do all of those things and then have it adhere to a fantastical world in addition to all of the other things. So
Right.
there's more layers to it in that regard. But um on the other thing, and I caused this problem. I
Mm-hmm.
think the whole thing about the RPG thing, I think, is because Kingdom Come Deliverance is so deep, and the choice and consequence is so it morphs the story around your choices. The choice and consequence is really deep. The systems are really deep, and it's just it evolves around your decisions. And I think that's that's the main argument as far as it
Mhm.
why I think she should have won best RPG. But and then that's not saying that Expedition 33 is shallow. And SloMo, your argument about the characters being one of the most memorable things well, I mean, that spans any genre including RPGs, but you're definitely right about that. I mean, you know, Expedition 33, the story and the emotional beats and the characters and everything they went through together was second to none. So I mean, like I could even say with regard to that it was superior. But when they say RPG, I'm thinking like, all of the elements of an RPG and how deep it runs and how layered it is. And that was the only reason why I said that. But like if I had to pick between the two, it would definitely be Expedition 33. Like Kingdom Come
Yeah.
Deliverance 2 isn't my type of game either. But I think in that one category it was just stronger in my opinion, but
Well,
you
it,
definitely
I'm
have
it's
gonna
solid
tell
points
y'all
there.
what I'm hearing. What I'm hearing is that like y'all both defending the game that neither one of y'all liked, and apparently didn't have a great story, even though y'all claim it had a good story, but y'all can't name no characters
See, I didn't claim it had a good story.
hold on
yeah.
aside from Keith Sweat and
Oh
Gerald Levert
Lord.
in the game. Can't nobody
Gerald
explain,
Levert.
tell me
Gerald
nothing that
Levert.
happened in the game, no
Oh my god.
characters. The combat looks terrible, but hey, look, it tells you gotta poop yourself and eat food to survive. So hey, great deep systems.
Listen,
I'm
I'm just gonna
sorry,
tell
that's
you
not gonna
Well,
exactly
win you
Glintstone,
the
RPG of the
moment.
year.
Glintstone
You
got a
know the
point
moment.
here. He's asking if we got a weed whacker because
Listen, all
we
I
can
know
weed.
is during the show when we did the Game Awards. If you go back and find it, if anybody goes back to find it, you can see the moment that Expedition won RPG of the year. I instantly said right there on live, I was like, well, that's going to win game of the year, because that was the only category I felt like they had a chance at losing. Even myself, I didn't think they were going to lose that category just because it's just a more superior game.
Oh, yeah.
I just said, as an
By
RPG, if we're going off of what just an RPG is, I feel like Kingdom Come Deliverance, that was the category it was going to win. But when it didn't, I instantly said, like, listen, if it can't win that category, then it's not. Then it's just going to run the table, in which it did. It just ran the table in every category after that, because it just was the better version of any game that came out that year. But like I said, my biggest thing is like I said, with the whole Mass Effect comparison. No one will sit here and say that Mass Effect 2 isn't a better game than the first one.
Yeah, but see, you harping on Mass Effect 2. I brought up Knights of the Old Republic, Dragon Age Origins. These are also games that just,
But those are two different. But they're not games that lead into other games. Like this is within the same.
No, Knights of the Old Republic has a sequel, and MMO.
Well, the first one was way better than the second one when it came to that.
It's better, but I wouldn't say way better.
The RPG lessons inside of it is way better.
Well, I completely disagree. The Sith Lords, which is done by Obsidian.
It's been a while. You're right. The second one probably does have
built off of they actually created Jedi stances that completely changed the way you would do combat, and you would need to change your stance depending upon if you had what kind of enemies are in front of you, or if you were fighting another Jedi or a Sith Lord one-on-one, you would get into a duelist stance, or if you're fighting a bunch of what do they call them, stormtroopers or whatever? Not stormtroopers, this is way before then. But you're fighting a bunch of enemies who shooting laser guns. You would switch to the style where you would you're deflecting laser fire. They got real deep on that. Where the reason why people still say Knights of the Old Republic 1 by BioWare is still better than 2 is because the story is better.
The story is definitely better in the first one.
And see, this goes back to what I'm saying. When it comes to RPGs, you gotta have legendary RPGs have great characters that everyone can remember. And they have.
What's the best Final Fantasy 6 or 7?
6
for RPG.
6.
I love you. Congratulations. I love you. And it is. 7 is just more. It's the most well-known Final Fantasy.
Yeah, because it's a lot of people's first Final Fantasies. The first one to go to PlayStation. 6 was the last one to be on Nintendo before they became multi-platform. But 6 is the best one. Yeah, Kefka's a better villain than Sephiroth.
The Sephiroth. People don't know about Kefka, man.
This is about character. RPGs are the only genre where it's that important.
I'll give it to you, man. I just, like I said, still ain't gonna change my stance that I feel like that. And like I said, I'm not even saying it should have won. I'm just saying when it did. And Ramon, yes, you did. You started this.
Yeah, but this is a good tangent.
I jumped into the foxhole with you because I was like, you know what? I said the same thing when it happened.
I knew not what I was doing.
But no, that's what this is. That's what the conversation is for.
Little did the two of you guys know that I've had this debate multiple times with people in Discords who have been fighting the Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 fight. And they are also in the minority, and they are also, which is
Lord.
But anyway, just to get back to the main topic.
If somebody was to say Mass Effect 3 is the best Mass Effect, what would you say?
They're wrong.
I would say they're wrong too, but I couldn't. But if it's the
ending,
but if the Mass Effect 3 was the first one they played, could you really say they're wrong? Because technically, Mass Effect 3
they're triple wrong for playing the third one.
Why would you play that one first?
I don't disagree.
As a matter of fact,
with you
I'm not sure I would even want to talk to them after that.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
With you on that, but I will. But I know
might result in a fist fight.
But listen, I know people that played Mass Effect 3 when the first time they played any Mass Effect was when the Legendary Edition came out, and they played the third one. And I think me and you talked about this, SloMo, that we know that there will be people
like that.
that me and Slobo talked about this on the podcast, and we said I can understand some people probably thinking, in their opinion, that the third one is the best one.
The third one has the best
Because it's
combat.
it has the
And it has
best
some
Yeah, it has the
combat.
great
best
it has
combo.
some
That's
great
fine.
emotional points, like with Morton. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
the conclusions of some of these story arcs are really,
Are
really powerful. The
in part
problem
3,
the
But
problem
they
with
hit
3,
harder if you played the other ones.
especially if you did all the DLC. Shadow Broker, let's go.
well, I mean, yeah, Laird Child Brokers have made one of the best DLCs ever, but when you get to the end of 3 is where it's just like it just all kind of falls apart. You know, it just seems it
Running to the
that
light.
really
Run
that
to the
yeah,
light.
that really just kind of ruined it. But like, let's not stay here.
Okay, yeah, you're
Let's
right.
get on to
I
the.
did. It's just another good reason to bring up Mass Effect, but yeah, greatest game ever made.
Oh, really?
It's a good old really right there. My bad, lost my train of thought. There is a report out there from Windows Central that Fable is from what they've heard that Fable is quote unquote uncomfortably over budget. Now, I
Dang.
wanted to discuss this because I made a tweet about this because I thought that was like I wonder who at Xbox would say something so foolish because to say the game is uncomfortably over budget, and sure, it's had a few delays, but let's think about this here. I don't see how they feel it's over budget considering the studio, Playground Games, are a studio that's only made arcade racers. That's all they've made. And this game is an action RPG. Using a game engine that has only been used for simulation racers and arcade racers, which means the engine also does not have the toolkit to make an RPG. So this studio had to build up a completely separate team in a completely separate location, get veterans who've made these kind of games before, who've never worked together, get integrated into their culture, and then work on Forza Tech to get Forza Tech to do what they needed it to do, to do dialogue trees, to do mocap and voice acting, not voice acting, but like have the visuals with look, we've all seen it. Ramon has said so multiple times about how awful the character models are in Forza. It's the only thing that really sucks really in Forza Horizon. And you can't have that in an RPG, terrible character models. All these things that we've seen so far from what they've shown us is supposed to be all gameplay have looked good. So how can you say it's over budget? What did you have the budget set at for a studio that's never done it before in a game engine that's never been used in this way before? It just kind of highlights to me the people in leadership at Xbox are completely out of their depth. For you to say this game's over budget, and of course, sure, I don't know the number, but you should have known it was going to end up like this. That they were going to have to rescope things, that they were going to need delays, that would be delays that they realized the engine is inadequate for what they need and they have to build the things they need to do the things that need to get done. It's asinine that you don't know these things and you've been in the business of making video games this long. Fable is your IP. Hello?
They ain't made one of those in a decade, though.
It's just it kills me that they are this foolish. And
like this.
And I'll say this, right? It worries me about how they're gonna accept the reception of this game. Because I think visually, if they're able to nail the way it looks visually, I think they will. I'm a little iffy on the combat. Some of the combat I've seen, like some of the actual like swinging of the sword and stuff, it looks very like it doesn't like when you look at the trailer looks fine, but then when you've seen actual gameplay of like combat, there have been times where I'm a little concerned. All that said, this game's coming out February 2027. I don't think it can get another delay after this, which means it's coming out the same month as the new Tomb Raider remake, Persona 4 Revival, and God of War Lofi. And that's going to be a lot to deal with when you have an IP that hasn't had a release in over a decade, with a team, with a studio that's never worked on this IP before. It's a lot to kind of overcome. I'm not making excuses for them. I'm just, saying what it is, what it is. Forte, what are your thoughts about this?
Man, this ain't wow, ain't nothing really new about it. It's like at the end of the day, it just lets you know how much they weren't paying attention to all of the different things that the studio were doing and stuff. But I also think this is kind of a scenario where it's just a lot of overreacting to the state of making of the game. It's like, let's be for real. This is like the first time they've ever made a game like this. It's a studio that predominantly makes racing games.
Mm-hmm.
And every time they made a racing game, it scored really well. It's probably your most successful Xbox game that is on a different platform other than your platform. So they know how to do that. So what do you expect to happen when they have to transform the entire studio, or at least a good portion of it, over to be able to theorycraft, create a brand new IP, not a brand new IP, but a beloved IP like Fable that everybody knows what it is, but you're trying to bring it to a new audience with a new, fresh idea inside of a new engine that it never ran on before, on top of that, which is going to have to be either slightly modified in order to make it work and do the things that you want to do. You got to bring testers in. You got to bring developers in that are familiar with the Fable IP that probably were never a part of the studio before, to be liaisons to be able to help you craft the world you need to do. These are all different things that they have to do just to get an idea and a foundation of what the game is going to be. Then it's going to take time, because guess what? They're not used to the overall scope of the game that they're building now. They're building a game that is completely beyond that scope that they are familiar with. So meaning they're starting from scratch. They're like when they made Forza Horizon 6, all they did was go to location. I'm not going to say, I don't want to belittle it. They went to locations to film, to get realistic items and stuff, realistic geographical sites and areas and landmarks. And they were able to transpose the engine that they're working on with Forza Horizon 5, 4, even Motorsport to an extent, to be able to craft the world that you have now that is in Japan. That has been the formula. They haven't been working from a baseline of 0 ever since Forza Horizon 1. They've been building on that ecosystem and that promise of what they did before. And some people said they played it too safe when they got to Forza Horizon 4, because Forza Horizon 3 was the best one that they ever made at that point. And they progressively got better from there. This is something completely new for them. The studio is bigger, so you're spending more money and labor on the people that's working there. So so what did you expect the budget to be? You don't want them to, half cock it and say that we're just giving it the old college try with an IP that everybody knows and loves. No, you want to actually make it something that it needs to be. So you're going to spend money to do that. You're spending marketing dollars on top of it, with all of this stuff on top of it. So I just think it's just more overreaction to the fact that Microsoft and Xbox, conjured up $69 billion over the course of 5 years and 1 calendar year to purchase ABK, and the books are still on fire from that. And when they look at the other stuff deeper, and Sharma's looking at all of the numbers from all of the, all of the different entities underneath her, everything's on fire.
Okay, would you say, is it fair to say that if they're this kind of like disconnected with reality when it comes to the expectations on a budget of this kind of endeavor, would it be fair to say that they're not going to be like, this game really needs to be one of the biggest like it needs to be a top 10 seller of 2027 in order to make the money back and not have like Amy
Hood.
Amy Hood losing her mind over how much money they spent.
Well, Amy Hood's gonna lose her mind anyway. This the thing. I don't think this is gonna be a doom and gloom situation for Turn 10. Well, not for Turn 10, for Playground. Because Playground has proven that their worth is more than just the one game that they're making. They make 2 games now. Now, will it be a situation where if this game doesn't hit the needle that they want to hit, that it will be more of a pullback in resources that Playground gets? That could possibly happen. They might just go back to just being a Forza team that they know that they can do the best. I think that would be a misuse of talent, because I feel like at the end of the day, the more stuff you can release and the more time you give developers with new things to kind of create inside of, it makes them better. So I think Fable itself is going to make them a better overall development studio, because they did something they've never done before. And win, lose, or draw, they know what it takes to do it. They saw it through and got it out the door. So the only thing that can happen from there is just give them time to like take that craft and, do better with it the next time. I don't think it's going to fail. I just don't know what the lofty expectations that Microsoft's going to have on the game due to the financial straits that Xbox finds themselves in. So I just look at
I think the game could end up getting like a lot of critical success. Like it could be like but it may not sell.
Like
and I think today's Xbox, that's just not gonna fly. Like you could, because we've seen, like some studios have critical success and win awards, and they just like, yeah, so we're gonna sell you off to so and so, or yeah, go ahead and buy your independence. We don't really want to keep doing this anymore. Like
Playground ain't going nowhere.
Like they doubling down on their big IP, and Fable used to be that, but it's not that anymore. And so it's like, I mean, I'm not saying Playground's going anywhere, but if this doesn't sell well, this might be the last hurrah for the Fable IP itself.
Yeah.
Ramon, what are your thoughts about this?
It makes me nervous. Anybody who can, RPGs by their nature are some of the most complex and ambitious genre of games you can make. The level of depth and density that we've seen so far with Albion, right down to all the NPCs having their own schedules and just all of this stuff. And there's not a whole lot more I can add to it, because you both already covered everything that I could have said. Like, there's so much going on in that game. They had to take an existing engine that was specialized for arcade and sim racing, and then mold it into something completely different to create like one of the most complex, well, the systems wise, like not systems wise, technically what looks to be an extremely detailed and demanding RPG. Like I don't know what they were like, what they're expecting. Like, did they think it was going to cost $10 million? I mean, I'm being hyperbolic, obviously, but like, it's like, here's $60. Can you get it done? Like,
right.
Like you saying unrealistic. it's an RPG, and it's an RPG, man. And look at the type of RPG it is. Like, and again, like you already said it, SloMo. We're talking without the benefit of knowing what the budget is. After they've gone over it, maybe it's $500 million. I mean, we don't know. And yes, if that's the case, then yeah, that is pretty uncomfortably high. But it's kind of hard to really react without knowing what that number is, because is 300 million uncomfortably over budget, because that's where we might be saying, okay, look, dude, do you not know what this is? If they spend 500 or 600 million, then it's like, okay, yeah, that's uncomfortably, that's bad. So until if they ever release the number, until we know what that number is, it's kind of hard to really feel one way or the other about it. But I don't know. Yeah, I need to know what the number is before I can really kind of say.
Cool. Let's speed through the rest of these. Well, not all the rest of these rapid fires, but some of these I think we can. You don't have to spend too much time on. But
Oh, really? Oh, really?
Just musket fire.
yeah, this is definitely musket fire time. So yeah, Electronic Arts, also known as EA, is set to close their $55 billion deal with that private equity firm, filled with all the dastardly beings of the world, that will turn the company private starting next week. Andrew Wilson is intended to remain as CEO. Any thoughts on this from either of you on EA going private and how that might change things in the future?
Oh no, man.
Private equity firm, RIP.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's exactly what I think. It's just it's interesting because of all of the they make a lot of their money off of licensed IPs and stuff, like Madden, FC.
Those are the money makers.
Those are the money
FC
makers.
Sports and Madden make the bulk of their revenue for the year, and it actually funds all the other stuff, like the game I'm showing right now, which is the last of the Dragon Age series. Like this is where the funds comes from for stuff like this. It comes out of Ultimate Team transactions and the whatnot for EAFC Sports and Madden. No, it's
I just wonder how. My biggest thing is, and I never really talked about, like, how is this venture going to affect that when it comes to like licensing? I don't think it's going to do anything in the near future, because I know they just recently, I think 2 or 3 years ago, re-signed another 10-year deal with the NFL when it came to Madden for the licensing deal. FC, I think it was about the same time. I think it was whatever year it went from FIFA to FC, they had to readjust the licensing for that because they changed it from FIFA. And I think that was 2023 was the last one, 2024. So
I don't
they
think
got a nice little runway when it comes to those things, which are the money makers. I just wonder what and money speaks. So as long as they're willing to pay the money, I don't think it probably want to amount to anything. But we all know how these corporations and stuff feel about outside influences and things that could kind of impact their businesses and stuff. So I'm really interested to see how those deals play themselves out when it comes up to renewing or not.
I'm gonna tell you what I think is gonna happen. I don't think they're going to change anything dramatically with Madden and EAFC Sports. I think those are the money makers, and they don't want to upset that. They're going to continue doing. If anything, they're going to try to further monetize those whales that play those games on an annual basis, and they try to do some of that this year, where they tried to put the microtransactions into things that like.
Oh, they tried to do it in college football, man. They went crazy.
And so some of the stuff they're going to, and people push back and they go, all right, my bad. You got us. You got us. We went a little too far this time, but they're gonna push the envelope again next year. They're just gonna do it in a different area of the game that they think you guys might just be more accepting of. And so I think all that is just going to be like as far as the content goes, is going to remain the same. You might be spending more money, but when it comes to other things like the game that I'm showing on the screen right now, like Dragon Age has always been a very open to different sexual orientations and different
Yep.
kind of characters and that kind of stuff. And if you look into the organizations and people involved in this private equity firm that is now owning EA, they're not very accepting of a lot of those things. Now, Dragon Age is more than likely probably due to the its lack of sales for the last game and BioWare's lack of uh, pedigree in regards to what they used to be. Likely, Dragon Age probably was never going to get another game made, regardless if this acquisition happened or not. But when it comes to like new IPs that could have similar content or similar things, like I wonder if just any of those things might just like never get made because of the people involved. Ramon, you had made a comment. What are your thoughts on that?
Man, the reason I said RIP is because not because EA is going to go away, but outside of sports, like yeah, any type of thing with regard to things that they're against in that part of the world is highly unlikely. I mean, well, I won't say highly unlikely, but it is in question as to whether that will be permitted.
Hmm.
Um, Considering the individual involved in this deal, I don't see a whole lot of good that can
Here's a
come
good
out of it.
example of it, right? Like Hazelight Studios. So Hazelight Studio has made the two of It Takes Two. Yeah, It Takes Two. They
Oh man, it's
made
bad.
what was the other one? It Takes Two won Game of the Year, right?
It Takes Two won Game of the Year, and Split Fiction is their newest one.
Split Fiction. Okay, so like you take now, It Takes Two isn't. I mean, it's about. I don't think they would have a problem with that one, right? Because it's about a
No,
couple who's kind of going through a thing in their marriage, and it's got awesome co-op gameplay and a good story, a good lesson to be told there. Um, But Split Fiction, you got 2 women. They seem very independent, seem very, like they got different personalities and they one of them is a fiction writer, the other one, I mean, fantasy writer, the other one is a science fiction writer, and they're very like they kind of war with each other, but you got who think about who the antagonist is and who they are and a lot of the content, the dialogue that's in Split Fiction. And I wouldn't say they'd be, like, overly, like, "Don't make that," but they might be more of, like, "This line of dialogue, I ain't like that, take that out," kinda thing. You know what I mean? Like, kinda, like, neutering some of the things that are being said. These are things that Ubisoft developers have told me have happened at Ubisoft, where we know how Ubisoft leadership is, and, we've heard the rumors, and we know what they're like, and I've seen Ubisoft developers tell me how they will be making a character, and that character is a dark-skinned male, and then as they're going through milestones, like, they're being told, "Hey, could you kinda change this character a little bit?" But they're not really saying what they want to change, just change the character. And you change the clothes. Okay, cool. Yeah, that just we don't really like that character. Can you change something else about them? But really what they saying is make the character lighter. And then eventually a character that was like a brown skinned male turns into, well, I mean, what race is this guy? Can you even tell? They're like way lighter complexion than they used to be. It's just like things like that, where as you get into getting through certain milestones to keep the project going, and you start to get not, hey, the game, we played the vertical slice, we can't find the fun. That's a legit concern, if it is not fun. But when it's not those things, but when the concern is more about, yeah, we don't like this gay character.
Right.
Take this character out, please. And that kind of thing, where you're hindering creativity in that. And I'm not saying that people can't have their own opinions on things. I'm saying believe whatever you want, right? But when developers create things, just because you have a certain particular personal feeling on it doesn't mean they shouldn't have the ability to create those things, right? So that's where I think is more of the concern, and I'm curious to see what non-sports related games they create in the future and how they play out.
Mm.
Any further thoughts on this before we move on to the next one?
No, sir.
I mean, you already said it. Like, it's going to be interesting to see just how much they're going to involve themselves in the process. But between the company themselves and the individual who is working with them as well, I don't have high hopes. And I just wish that third Jedi game was already out. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm definitely not excited about where that's going.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
Trevor Shake.
Tomb Raider Catalyst has been delayed to 2028. That's the brand new Tomb Raider story being developed by Crystal Dynamics. The Crystal Dynamics is kind of working on, I don't know if they're doing the remake directly or whether they're just kind of like helping a support studio make this, but there is I mentioned it earlier, there's a Tomb Raider remake. I forgot the full name. I think it's Legacy of Atlantis, something like that. That's coming in
Fate of
February.
Atlantis.
The Fate.
I think it's Fate of Atlantis. I think.
Okay. Cool. The other one is again being delayed to 2028. Any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean that was a foregone conclusion when we found out that
That
actually I
the
think you're
remake
right.
got
Legacy of
delayed?
Atlantis. Yeah, like I think you were right. Legacy of Atlantis. Once we found out that Legacy of Atlantis was delayed into February of next year, like it would be crazy to release Tomb Raider in the same another one in the same year. Like, I mean, that would have definitely, I feel like, been too fast. So I kind of assumed when it was delayed that it would go into 2028. So
Yeah. Also, I wonder because I know that they're developing. So that Tomb Raider TV show, which I think was going to be a disaster because I feel like they miscast Laura, but
mhm.
the actress, I forgot her name. She was in Game of Thrones. She got injured at some point.
Damn.
And I know they had to delay things. They didn't fire her like Kratos actor got fired. But so they had to delay things. So I wonder if like the Amazon, because Amazon is doing the TV series as in the or movie, whatever it is, that's live action, in addition to publishing the Crystal Dynamics games that are coming out. So I wonder if they wanted to kind of line up that brand new Lara Croft Tomb Raider experience with the TV show. And so, sure, more than likely, it's delayed because they needed more time. That makes a whole lot more sense. We see that happen all the time. But at the same time, like you really want to capitalize on that cross media attention that you're going to get. I wonder if that also played a part too. Forte, what do you think?
No, I agree with that. Once we started
Thank you,
hearing
Sophie
all the
Turner. That's her name. Sophie Turner is the one that got
Sophie Turner.
injured.
Yeah, once we started hearing all the murmurs of it, that's kind of I felt like going to be the direction. Really, I was like when I saw it, I was like, man, I really like this. Going back to like the essence of what Tomb Raider was, and not trying to chase after the Uncharted bag, and I think that was a good decision. So I think it's going to be. I still think it's going to be a game that a lot of people are looking forward to when it finally does release and everything. But yeah, this is kind of something that we all started thinking was going to be a thing once they started. News started coming out on how everything was being handled.
I think it's time to make Forte mad.
Why? Oh, I don't like being mad.
Forte?
Yes.
Sony's chief financial officer, Lin Tao.
Yeah, so freaking stupid. Go ahead.
I knew I was going to get you. Addressed the recent backlash from their announcement of no longer supporting physical media for their games starting in the year 2028. And it sounds very much like they hit everyone with the "we hear you" kind of response. Let me go actually
You gonna go
read
to the
the
statement?
quote. I'm going to go to the statements. It's a
Yeah, clear your throat.
We announced that from January 2028 onwards, we will no longer be manufacturing again disc. So 1.5 years ahead. We gave you guys fair warning. Why y'all mad? I'm sorry, that's me editorializing it. My bad. Sorry. This is back to the
Why y'all
quote.
mad?
There are various reasons we made this decision. The biggest being that the digitalization of contents overall has been progressing. That's the big factor. It's not just PlayStation, but for all kinds of contents. Digitalization is progressing. So when we think about the future and we put in a lot of thought and time and we cautiously considered this, we came to this conclusion that you don't matter. I'm sorry. Whoops. Did I say that again? My bad. That's not what she said. We came to this conclusion and we're going to cautiously move this forward. And to this decision, we have received various opinions.
You can't even read this without laughing. Oh,
Various opinions. People have strong views.
Strong opinions.
I'm sorry.
You
And
think?
we understand that the community has put forth those views to us. We hear you. Games are loved by many people.
Oh,
It's
here
a
comes the
form of
dagger.
entertainment that's loved by people. I don't know why
She don't even know how to
she
turn
repeated
the
that.
console on.
And it's connected to people's fond memories in many cases. And this, you will have very fond memories of this that you'll never get again. I'm sorry, I gotta stop doing that. I'm sorry. And so we understand those emotions. We understand. We want to consider. No, that is legit what she said. We want to consider that. And in the future, digital ecosystem. The fact that she just
Oh my
Talking
God.
all the way out the side of her mouth.
I was like, what are we doing?
The fact she said we want to consider that. So in the future digital
Consider that.
ecosystem that you're gonna get anyway.
Oh man, this is why PlayStation didn't say nothing.
What's this for? You're gonna get it anyway.
You go get it. We hear you.
Thanks for letting us know, but you're gonna get it
We're gonna
anyway.
do it anyway. We're gonna do it anyway.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny. I'm sorry. Where was it? Let me finish. This is the last sentence. In the future digital ecosystem, how do we engage the gamers is something that we would like to continue to explore. Thank you very much. So essentially, we're going to do it anyway. We're willing to explore how you accept this new digital ecosystem, but we're not exploring is physical games. You ain't getting your physical games. Stop asking, is what they saying. Forte, the floor is yours, sir.
Oh my god. I almost had an aneurysm reading that. And I don't wanna say she's a bumbling buffoon because it was translated, and we know translation is not the greatest still, even though AI is literally taking over the world. You would think it would be better, but this is literally a middle finger to everything that everybody's been trying to do for the last month. They just came out and just said, they basically just told everybody, F you, we don't believe that you're not going to buy our games.
Yeah,
That's what
basically,
they just,
they,
that's
they, they
literally
said,
all
what
they
you gonna do?
said.
Go to Xbox?
Yeah, that's all they said. Listen, I am on that. Listen, I'm on that time. If it wasn't for the fact that, listen, if it wasn't for the fact that my wife wants to play Grand Theft Auto and she does not care about any of this stuff, and I'm not going to take her joy away.
Dang.
If it wasn't for that, I would not ever buy another game on a PlayStation platform. I wouldn't, because it's just the principle of it.
Well, I mean,
Myself,
you could have got her GTA 6 on Xbox. It's not even
you know
region.
what?
It's not
Yeah,
even region
you know what?
locked
You
on
know what?
Xbox.
That might be the move. I might trade in my PS5 and just get an Xbox. That might be the move.
There you
Because
go. Go ahead and spend
you
that
know what?
$800. My bad. Go
You're
ahead.
right. No, I get a discount. First of all, I'm definitely not spending $800. I will buy a used one, or I'll just tell Kayla, like, Kayla, you want a PlayStation? I'll take your Xbox. But no, seriously, from the bottom of my heart, this just makes me not want to support Sony anymore. I understand that you're making a business decision off a spreadsheet. Everybody knows that's what's happening here. But for you to come out and say the things that you just said, and yes, it was during a financial call, not meant for, technically, it's only meant for shareholders to hear, but it gets out no matter what. So you would think that these are trained individuals knowing that this information is going to get out.
Shareholders don't care.
Yeah, well, they don't care, but it's going to get out. So my whole thing is they're basically just saying middle finger to you, anybody that thinks this is really going to affect our bottom line. And I told people a long time ago, when it feels like it's been a long time ago, a month ago when this happened, I said the only way this company is going to react to what you want them to do is by not buying anything. Like, if you look at this whole what's the name that they want to do the week of, I think it's like October 21st through the 27th, because they don't want to affect a lot of the games that are coming out. They just want people to turn off PSN and shut off their PlayStation.
Oh, the whole blackout thing?
Yeah, that's what, the whole blackout thing. And I'm sitting there like, okay, why wouldn't you do this if you really want to hurt Sony? Why wouldn't you do this during the week of Wolverine? You know why they're not going to do it?
Because they're going to play Wolverine.
Do it? Because they're going to play Wolverine.
Right.
Because all of this stuff that they're talking about is something that they can't stand on their own 2 feet and really absorb.
Sony's like, we don't believe you. You need more people.
More people.
We don't believe you.
We don't believe
care.
It. They don't
you
care.
all have gone and pre-ordered $100 version of GTA 6.
GTA.
You didn't got the digital deluxe version of Wolverine. You out here got a actual box for GTA 6 that got no disc in it. You out here saying, "Oh no, wait a minute. Are you saying Lofty doesn't have a box version either? Okay, doesn't matter anyway. I don't care. Like you none of you are actually. I'm not gonna say none because some of them are standing on business.
Yeah,
it's not enough of y'all. And so this is where I say that fight's over. That battle has been lost. At this point now, the things that people complain about when it comes to digital media is where the new battleground should be.
Exactly.
Digital ownership doesn't exist unless you're talking about GOG on PC.
Yep.
It doesn't exist. You have no rights. We saw, and it doesn't matter what platform it is, you got nothing. Like you could like every platform is doing some egregious nonsense. Let's go down the list. Nintendo, if you pre-order a game, that's it. They ain't giving you a refund. Even if you didn't even install it yet, you get nothing. The game could be a buggy piece of garbage that doesn't even work. Sorry. We got your money. We're
Yep.
not giving it back. That's not acceptable. And that only happens on digital because if you buy a physical copy of the game, you could always go back to the retailer that you bought it from and say, this game don't work, I want my money back. And that that retailer guy deal with that copy of the game. They're gonna try to sell it to somebody else, that kind of whatever. But it's no longer your concern. That's a problem. Sony, as soon as that game gets installed on your SSD, it's over for the most part. And if you get a refund and you consistently try to get refunds, they're gonna try to invalidate your whole daggone account.
Mm-hmm.
That's not acceptable. Right now, Sony is like, hey, the only way you getting digital is through PSN. They don't want to give digital codes to anyone else. They try to offer after making this announcement, yeah, other retailers are going to have keys. That's not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Every retailer should have digital keys. And every retailer, the same way every retailer, if their keys, their digital keys aren't moving the same way their physical copies weren't moving, if they want to put those copies of those digital keys that they bought from Sony already on sale, they should be able to do so. It shouldn't be some kind of cartel going on in the background where Sony's like, you can only put your games, your digital copies of these games on sale when we put them on sale. Therefore, so you're not undercutting us. None of that nonsense that you try to pull. It's already wrong that you charge the same exact price for a physical game that's digital, but there's no box. You're not paying for that. You didn't press anything on not even, sure, not every game has the full game on there, or maybe it's just a level like with 007, or maybe it's like with Xbox where it's just a daggone key to get to download the game. Regardless, you spent money making a box.
Yep.
And you're splitting that money with retailers. Now you're not doing any of that crap. And so yet the price is still the same. You're pocketing all that money. Sure, prices go up. Games cost more money. But as a retail, as a consumer, I don't care what your problems are. You don't care that I got bills to pay. You don't care that I gotta keep my lights on. You don't care that I gotta put gas in my car. You don't care about my problems. I don't care about your problems. I don't care how much it costs to do business. So don't be trying to swindle me between digital to physical. But this is where we need to make the fight. And the fight isn't, hey, we're gonna do a blackout. Bump all that. The
Right.
fight is go talk to your local representative. The fight is educate your these old white guys in Congress that represent you, don't know anything that's going on, because the ESA used to be about fighting for the video game industry's rights to make sure they have a fair market. Now they're just about giving the publishers whatever they need and doing all kinds of foolishness out here, lobbying for publishers to do bad to us. So, do you want to educate them on what's going on, or do you want the ESA and the publishers to educate them on what's going on? Because all the
Mm.
publishers that speak out about what Sony is doing, they all for it. And why not? Because they're going to pocket more money off of it while still charging you the same amount of money for less. While you also have less ownership. And so that's where the fight needs to be. The EU has already told us we can't force Sony to make sure there's physical media for the PlayStation 6. The fight's over. There won't be. That's an all digital console. It's done. And Xbox ain't doing it either. I saw the rumors. It ain't happening, Captain. It's not happening. They're not doing that either. So if you're still going to be involved in gaming in the year 2028, what you should be worried about is making sure to stay on their neck to change how they do things right now in preparation of where things are going to be. And frankly, they shouldn't even be coming out with a daggone PS6 or Xbox Helix in 2028. Look at these prices. That hardware is going to be like $1,500, at least over $1,000. You should not be buying that. That's too expensive. And they shouldn't be releasing that. Because the masses aren't going to buy a $1,000 console. It's not happening. So unless they want to see a major industry crash, they should probably delay their new hardware. But that's a whole different topic. I'm off my soapbox. Ramon, what are your thoughts about all this?
Well, you've already said all there needs to be said with regard to the action people should be taking. I mean, they made their voices heard. It was an admirable effort up to this point. You know, people have been vocal. They stayed on them about it, but we already saw them repurposing, you know, facilities and the moves that they made and everything. Like, obviously, like they started making these moves before they even announced it to us. They anticipated the blowback, and they've made their decision.
Mm-hmm.
And just like what you guys said earlier, we need to, we need to now pivot towards digital rights and ownership. There is no reason why we shouldn't be able to literally own something that we pay for. And the proof of that is GOG on PC, like
Big
you
facts.
mentioned earlier. You buy a game there, you download it. You don't even have to have the launcher for it. You can download it, and I actually need to research that and find out what it is you need to what software or whatever you need to download. But yeah, like you can play it without the GOG launcher if you want to. The game is yours. You own it.
Yep.
You know, so there's absolutely no reason why. And the crazy part about it, here's the thing that blows my mind. Did you know that God of War 2018 is on GOG?
I did not know.
Yes. God of War 2018 is on GOG. I think PlayStation has a couple of games. I think. Don't quote me on that, but I know for a fact that it's on GOG. So, like, which is a move I just don't understand. Like, given how PlayStation has been moving lately, but yeah, that's the fight that we need to be having now, because them abandoning digital is bad enough. We knew it was a foregone conclusion, but they've been licking their chops to do this, and they're just like, all right, we're just going to pull the plug, And I know things are more complex than that, but as you said, and I agree, they don't care about me, so I don't care about their logistics either. So, as far as I'm concerned, moving forward, yeah, I intend to play Wolverine. I intend to play Lao Fei when I can get a used copy on Facebook Marketplace. I will play the remaining games on my PS5 when I can buy them physically used. I'm not going to even wait for a sale. Like, I'm just going to buy them used. And once they go all digital, then I'll have a decision to make. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. There were times when I was certain studios that I really wanted to support. It's like, you know what? I have this on PC. I'm gonna get this on PlayStation too. That's done for me now. Like, I no longer will buy any more of my games on PlayStation. I'm just 100% PC now. And as for their first party games, like I say, I'll buy those used. And then after January 2028, we'll see where we are then. But the fact that they refused to say anything was already disrespectful. I mean, you got you have all these people out here, like the outcry. It's like, dude, are you going to say anything? Are you going to talk to us? And yeah,
They do not care how people
they
feel,
don't
and
care.
so like that
They don't
that
care. They
and
care about the shareholders.
right, right. And if people found me reading the quote to be I guess in poor taste or disrespectful or whatever, look, I legit thought it was funny how she said it. Wasn't trying to piss nobody off, but at the same time, I knew that was going to be the kind of response that they were going to eventually give at some point. And so it is what it is, man. Like they we really need to make sure that when this happens, that they're talking about, yeah, we're going to give keys to retailers, so it's just not just on PSN. They said that because they knew they're trying to offer something and
So they don't get
hopefully
sued again
right,
by the
right, because
government.
they've used the defense. Well, why do you have you locked digital keys just to PSN? And they're like, oh, well, there's always physical copies. You can go anywhere and get a physical copy of these games. So, it's not that big a deal. But you don't have that defense anymore. So they try to offer that, but then the thing is like, well, if you're
It's
offering that,
disingenuous.
how are you implementing it? Because I should not be trusting you to do that on your own. There should be legal framework put into place to make sure that on a digital front that you're doing right by the money that I'm spending in your ecosystem and that I'm getting more than what I'm currently getting right now. It's the kind of same thing that we saw, with like ebooks, right? And and how certain platforms with ebooks failed, and then people bought books through your store. You need to find a way for people to be able to move their library if you're no longer going to host that stuff. They didn't want to do that, and then but the law forced them to be able to say, "Hey, look, nah, you can't just end things and be like, all right, good luck out there. Thanks for your money." No, you need to find a way for them to be able to put their digital library of books on a different platform. Like these
Right.
kind of things need to be put into place. It's this kind of same thing with the initiative to stop killing games, where people were like, "Hey, look, I paid money for this game." Anthem's a great example. Sure, Anthem was a failure, but Anthem exactly wasn't like a unfun game to play. But right now, you can't play Anthem. The servers are offline, even though the game could be played solo if you so choose. There should be legal framework to force developers to, before you shut the servers off and completely shutter this game forever, make it playable offline. Awful game Redfall is. Redfall sucks, but at least before they shut the servers off, they made it so Redfall could be played solo. Why would you do that? I have no idea. But you can. And that should always be the option for something that you spent your money on. So like we gotta fight for these things. Because if we don't, like, and there's a lot of money tied up in gaming. But people keep getting focused on what I think are the wrong things. So anything
And
else
the
you
only thing I'll
guys?
say,
Go ahead.
and the only thing I'll say last to that is, I really, I don't expect it because I don't think it's going to happen. But all this noise that everybody has been stinking up about this scenario, rightfully so. What's your next move? Everything that you just said and that you and Ramon just said about digital rights and everything is the actual end game of this. But if a company basically comes out and tells you, we don't care what you say, we're still giving you the middle finger, I'm sorry. If that was some dude on the street that you didn't know, are you going to care about that dude's feelings? Are you going to still partake and hang out and, partake in the things that person has that is available for you to buy? And I guess it's going to really speak I mean, and I'm not going to put a character thing because gaming is a lot other things in the world that you need to really pay attention to and worry about. But there's also other places you can spend your money. And for me, yes, PlayStation games are great. They're amazing. The only reason I own a PlayStation is because of God of War. I am telling you right now, when this all goes down in 2028, I will not buy another game on PlayStation. I don't care if God of War never comes to PC and I never play another God of War after that. That is just the stance that I have to stand on because they gave me a middle finger and said, we don't care that you don't care, that you care about physical media. It's just where we are now. So guess what? I still can play video games on my PC. I can still play them on the Xbox as of right now.
99% of the games.
Yep. And I always tell people say, what's the difference in platforms? 99% of the games are everywhere else. You're only buying it for the 1% that's available over there. And for me, I will sacrifice the one game that I care about the most on the PlayStation platform to like not support this going forward. They don't believe that there are enough people like me out there to do it. And you know what? I honestly believe they're absolutely right.
Fellas, give me 1 second.
People.
I gotta do something with my daughter.
Go ahead. But I truly believe that there's not enough people like me or a lot of other people out there that's going to stand up and just say, I'm just not going to do it. At the end of the day, this is going to be a punchline of the year 2026, the year that PlayStation said we're killing physical media. And all these people that say we're not going to support PS6. Okay, that's fine. We'll see what really happens when that happens, because guess what? Everybody is like a allure to the platform that they love the most. It took a lot for me to get rid of my Xbox because Xbox has been my favorite platform since it's come out. Like, I was a huge PlayStation fan. I love my PlayStation 1 and my 2. But when Xbox came out and Halo came out, it was something special. And I kind of flipped and just became an Xbox gamer and still played PlayStation only for God of War. But it wasn't my main platform area. I played all my third-party games on Xbox. But when Xbox made the decision to put their games everywhere, and I have a PC that can do it, there's no reason for me to have your platform no more. I can still partake in your ecosystem because I have a PC that's able to do it. So I still support the Xbox ecosystem because they give me that option. But when it comes to like what PlayStation is doing, I'm like, first you say you're not bringing games to PC anymore. Okay, that's fine. Understand. You know, you want to bring value to your next gen console because we all know value is in the eye of the beholder of what you're bringing to market, and that's how you sell hardware. No problem. That's fine. But when you're taking a pivotal thing away from people that affects 20% of your player base, you're basically saying, guess what? We'll make that 20% up in margin. That 20% is just margin. We made this decision knowing that we gonna piss 20% of y'all off. And this goes back to that whole PlayStation saying when PlayStation put their games on PC for the first time, they were basically saying, PC gamers, you guys aren't enough for us. We need to put it somewhere else so we can bring more revenue in. Now they're rolling back the curtain on that and saying, we're about to sell a brand new console. We need you guys in the fold so you guys can buy these systems that's going to be $1,000. So how do we do that? Hey, let's roll back that all games being everywhere. Let's do this. Let's cut back on our games as a service and promise the future of first party titles and revigor the player base to let them know that it's all about PlayStation today and all the time. Okay, that's fine. But when you pull the wool over so many people's eyes so many times, just like Xbox did, I'm going to look at you different. And that's where we are at this point. So I'm going to get off my soapbox. You're right, SloMo. It irritates the heck out of me that this is a thing. But I just don't know if a lot of people are going to really put their feet to the fire to see exactly how this is going to play out. But what were you about to say, Ramon?
I doubt enough people are going to do it because, well, number one, a lot of people don't know, and
Hmm.
and then a lot of people don't really care. They're just like, oh, it's only digital now. Oh, okay.
Yep,
They
exactly.
don't think about it. The hardcore are the ones that collect the stuff. We're the ones that tell people, like my next door neighbors. You know what I mean? They're gamers, but they're somewhat casual. But the only reason they know about some of the games that they own right now is because of me, because I've told them about it. And it's just crazy to me how, well, you know what? I'm not gonna say it's crazy to me because they're a business and they made a decision based on their business, and I get that. But there there is definitely a loss of PlayStation culture. There's a loss of culture there. Um, they they have sterilized. They're completely sterile now. There's no personality. There's no there's nothing to engage with. They're just very sterile cardboard cutouts, and they make decisions by spreadsheet. And basically, they're like, I dare you, I double dog dare you. What are you gonna do? You know, and in a different world where we weren't in this RAM crisis, and the Steam machine isn't competition for a base PS5, let alone a PS5 Pro. But if that could have come out at a cheaper price, I wonder if how aggressive Sony would be with this. Um, it's going to be interesting when we finally come out of the RAM crisis, because all things must end, hopefully. Um, what's going to happen? But like I say, for me, I'm still going to play their games used until I can't anymore, and then when I can't anymore, then I don't know. It's a very high likelihood that I just will not continue on with the platform. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it, like I said earlier. But I
Facts.
just the going all digital was a foregone conclusion, and I understand that. But like you say,
Hmm.
it's the whole middle finger. It's like, yeah, this is what we're gonna do. Oh, you don't like it? Well, I mean, okay, we're doing it anyway. Now what?
And
And
not even giving us, and that's the thing, like you said, and that's the perfect thing that you said. It's not the middle, it's the middle finger of all things. If they would have came out and came up with a solution and said that these are the things we're going to do around digital rights management to make it an easier transition, we don't have a framework of that right now, but this is something we're working on as a promise to you guys to make sure that your ownership of digital games is not going to disappear with physical media. Then I'd be like, you know what? I'll shut the heck up. But you ain't even mentioned anything about digital rights.
no, because they're not going to.
Nope. Well,
And, that's where they need to get pushback, because they're happy with status quo, but it's not owning anything. It's something I'll never understand. You buy something, but it's only a license.
mm-hmm.
Like, I'll never understand why that's the thing. But I don't know.
Well,
I mean,
because
we
we
knew
allowed
we
it
knew
to be
something
approved
was
so
going to
long.
happen. Yeah. Well, we knew something. We knew something was going to happen when Xbox started, kind of fizzling out. We knew something with the arrogant Sony was going to happen. I mean, we talked about it when this was, when Xbox was starting to go downhill. We're like, we don't want this because arrogant Sony will return. They have, and
Clockwork.
like, yeah, like, not there, not even cold in the grave yet. Now, what would be poetic justice is if Asha, and this isn't going to, let me be clear about this. It is extremely unlikely that Xbox is going to see a return to the good old 360 days. So, I mean, I'm not saying that, but I'm just
Right.
saying pie in the sky. It would be awesome if Asha actually backdoored them, turned the Xbox around, got the ship right, and suddenly they're a viable competitor again. And all of this goodwill that PlayStation has burned through, because they've completely exhausted all their goodwill. They've burned through all of it.
I think
And now,
actually that's a very good segue about your thought of what Asha may do with this platform, because that's the last of these musket fire topics. I want us to try to get through these so we can get into the big topic of the night and get up out of here. So let's go ahead and get into that in particular since you brought it up. And this is actually a topic that you had mentioned to me either last week. You wanted to discuss this last week, but we didn't have the show. But Sean Layton, formerly of PlayStation, says that Xbox needs to either be a publisher or a platform, but they can't be both. Now, I think that's a pretty interesting topic to discuss because I think that I disagree. I do think you can be a platform as well as a publisher, but there is a way of doing it where you, the thing is that he is right in the sense that being a great publisher, um, to a degree, will hurt your platform because as a publisher, you want to sell as many copies of the game as you possibly can. And how do you do that? Oh, well, you're doing that by putting the game on as many platforms as you possibly can. But the more platforms you push your games, the less the less importance that you put on your platform. Because like, why would someone get your platform? They can get your games in other places. And so, but I think there is a way where you can do both. But Ramon, this is the topic you wanted to discuss. Go ahead and kind of like set the stage here. What are your thoughts on this?
Um, I partially agree. And what I mean is, it's actually, you know what? I probably more agree than don't. And number one, it's the ability to be able to do so. And I don't know if Xbox is, so far Xbox has proven that they're not capable of juggling those two balls. Asha has come in with pause,
I'm
juggling
sorry.
those two
It's too late. Is that?
juggling
Oh,
those
that's not even. Okay. I mean, that's a little bit better, but yeah. Go ahead.
items. There we go. But and maybe Asha is better at this, but just by the nature of what a publisher is, like you say, they're talking about maximizing profit. She's or maximizing, God, I lost my train of thought. They're talking about maximizing their player base. She's talking about entertaining 1 billion people a day, which is insane. But okay, whatever. I mean, I heard that and I rolled my eye. And mobile is the biggest entryway into that. But mobile isn't going to carry it alone. At least I don't think. But if you are going to go back to exclusives again, or rather, aka console exclusives, aka not on PlayStation, you've cut out a large chunk of the player base right there. So if you're going to be a successful publisher, you want to have your games everywhere. But if you're trying to be a platform, you want to give people a reason to come to your platform. So it's a catch-22. I think I agree with him more than not, because especially with Xbox, because how are they going to pull that off? They're already in last place and they're trying to battle back, and they've basically put 2 exclusives out to potentially die. One is a new IP. Excuse that whistling. That's my dog playing with her toy.
Are you good?
Clockwork Revolution is a brand new IP, which those are always risky. As much as the public says they want brand new IPs, they tend to a lot of times not do as well as established. But that's a whole other discussion. But yeah, I don't how Xbox is going to juggle being a platform holder as well as a publisher. Them specifically, I don't know when they're cutting off a large portion of the player base.
Well, when I say that, I think you can be both. I think it's
But can
about
Xbox be both?
well, it's not really the platform can't do it. It's the people who run the platform that you really just don't have faith in being able to do it.
Yeah,
Which,
that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
yeah, because they have a great treasure trove of IP, and so like right now, what they're trying to do because they've mentioned this before, and it's a little bit more liberal than what Sony has now pivoted to, where Sony's like, our live service games will continue to be multi-platform. It's gonna be on PC. You know, maybe they go to Xbox. You know, depending on we'll make that decision, but definitely on PC. But the single player experiences, those are only going to be on the PlayStation platform. So they have very uh def- very well defined what they're going to do. That might not be successful, but we'll see, right? What Xbox has said they're going to do is a little bit more muddied. You know, you got Matt Booty continuing to like he, he's taking up the legacy of Phil Spencer of having mixed messaging going on. You know, Matthew Ball put it one way, and then Matt Booty's like, well, I mean, it's not necessarily all single player games. Just shut up, Matt. Why is Matt still here? I don't know. Anyway, um,
They need to tell him to just stop talking. Like
they just
one
need to tell
person needs
him
to
that
be
they
talking.
just look. Let me not say that because that's very
Yeah.
callous about people moving on. But come on, bro. Like seriously, like
How somebody can fail up and like
yes, yeah, right. So, but what I'm saying is that like
master of
what I think they should do. Go ahead and do what Sony's doing when it comes to live service stuff. You want to put that on PlayStation 2 because you want more players in the ecosystem. Cool, to a degree. But if you really want to grow your platform, if you really got the balls to grow your platform, you should think about what Nintendo would do. What if Nintendo owned Minecraft? With
It would only be on
Minecraft,
Nintendo.
there we go. Now, how do you do that? When Minecraft has been out everywhere for the longest time? All right. When new content comes out for Minecraft, it only comes out on Xbox ecosystems. It only comes out on an Xbox console or the Xbox PC app. Well, I don't like that. I'm not gonna support you guys no more. All right. But some of you good, but Minecraft is so addictive. My daughter been playing it with her friends. You know, she harping at me about needing gift cards, Xbox gift cards to buy new things. They creating all kinds of stuff. If you really into Minecraft, you know what you're gonna do. You're gonna go make sure you play Minecraft wherever it is. So Elder Scrolls 6, Fallout 5, Forza Horizon 7, the next Halo. You already started with Gears, all your big IP. You don't allow that to go anywhere else. God of War Lofty is only going to be on PlayStation. They're not allowing it anywhere else. You're never going to see God of War on the Xbox. Never. You're never going to see Uncharted on the Xbox. Never. This is going to sound console warish, but it's not. I'm not a console warrior. I'm a realist because I understand what works. And this goes beyond the video game industry. This is for any industry. Them putting Halo Campaign Evolved, which we're going to talk about real soon, on PlayStation is the biggest L of Xbox's entire history.
Flagship IP, well, once flagship IP and mascot.
It appears as if they probably had a marketing deal with PlayStation. PlayStation, so you got PlayStation like literally parading around the head of their enemy by having not just your biggest game, your most recognizable game. What is quintessentially Xbox is the Master Chief, Halo, on their platform.
Yep.
It just goes to show how little prior leadership understood what brands mean. And I don't know if current leadership gets what brands mean. but they just don't get it. They don't understand, just, hey, that's a bigger platform. Put the game over there. People will buy it. You don't understand the repercussions that has for you sell hardware, bro. If they could buy Halo on a PlayStation, why buy an Xbox? Why do you need an Xbox? And honestly, I I I sh- I go back and forth between they don't get it to they do get it. They were just trying to kill the platform. Because when you have marketing that says things like no console, no problem, go and you're telling people to go play Xbox games through an Amazon Fire Stick and the experience was awful. It's like why are you telling people that you want people to have mediocre experiences? You want that to be what people think Xbox is? Oh, I've never had an Xbox before. I remember my dad playing Xbox. They got Xbox on Fire Stick now? Okay. All right, let me try that out.
Let me try that out.
And then it's like sub 30 FPS, blurry as all get out, and it's in all kinds of latency. Xbox sucks. That's the immediate response. They're not gonna look any further. They're not gonna look any deeper. They're gonna uninstall that thing off their smart TV or off their Fire Stick, and they're never gonna touch Xbox again. And when anyone brings up something that's good about Xbox, they're gonna say, "Yeah, I tried that on Fire Stick before. It was trash. Xbox is trash." Why are you recommending people have inferior experiences? And sure, this is old, but still, it's something they gotta own because they did that. Now here we are. You're selling Halo Combat Evolved, Campaign Evolved on PlayStation, and guess what the best version of the game is on the console?
PlayStation.
PlayStation 5, PlayStation Pro. Best experience for the game on your competitor's platform. That's like Netflix saying, here's the final season of Stranger Things. It's on Netflix, but guess what? It's also on Apple TV. But on Apple TV, it's in 4K and Dolby Vision. And we got none of those over here on Netflix. Why would you do that? That doesn't make any sense. So to go back to the point with Sean Layden, I disagree with Sean Layden. You can do both, but you just can't be stupid and do both. You can't be ignorant of what brands are and how entertainment works and do both. Again, Microsoft is a productivity business. They have made their bones and their billions and trillions through productivity, through products that people have to use. You go to work, you got Microsoft Office. We all have it. You got no choice. They make money off of that. What's the operating system on the computer do you use at work? Oh, it's Windows. You got to have it. Everyone uses that. These are the things. What is the storage solution, cloud based, that your company's using? Is it? I mean, there are other choices, but it's probably Azure. They do that. So like all that productivity stuff, they make solid products for the most part that people need to use. That's not entertainment. Nobody needs entertainment, and they 1000% don't need your entertainment. So the approach has to be different, and you have to understand how people view things. It's not about what's true in that. It's not about, it's about how people feel. Hey, you could have a better piece of hardware, but if you don't have the games people want to play, so freaking what, bro? Or when you do have the games people want to play, you put them everywhere. So I still don't need your platform.
Mm-hmm.
It's not rocket
Probably.
science, but it's just like it's also not Microsoft Excel. So you have to understand how this stuff works. And when you have a gold mine, like freaking Minecraft, oh, you using that again, or World of Warcraft, you leverage it to work for you. I'm sorry. Forte, any thoughts on this?
No, I'm good. Over.
Cool. Are we ready to get into this final topic? Since I'm showing some Halo Infinite gameplay. This is actually Forte brand new gameplay of me playing Halo Infinite. I played it earlier this week because one night I was like, you know what? I need to play some more Halo Campaign Evolved. I need to get a little bit further into that. And I was just like, I really want to shoot people in the face.
Too bad that game ain't got multiplayer.
Right. But there's no multiplayer for Halo Campaign Evolved.
Yep, because it's called Halo Campaign Evolved.
So I had to go. I reinstalled Halo
Made for the
Infinite,
PlayStation game.
which I think they had a nice little spike, and when I say little spike, I mean little, but a nice spike in
They had a
active
hump
players.
day. They had a hump day hump.
Yeah, I think there's other people who also
We're thinking like you.
thinking like me. They actually want to do some multiplayer, and so Halo Infinite does have good multiplayer, but unfortunately, it's no longer getting new content. But here we are. And I had a good time. Played maybe about like 5 or 6 matches, enjoyed myself. It was a good time. But yeah, Halo Campaign Evolved is officially fully out now this week. I did get the early access. I know, Ramon, I talked to you about you're not interested at all. Forte, you jumped in with the standard access to Game Pass. But it's now officially out for everyone. Anyone who wants to get it, it's in Game Pass, or you can buy it. It's like $50, clearly on every platform that's out there. It has a respectable 81 Metacritic score. I know there's some people who are a little upset that it's 16 points lower than the Halo Combat Evolved Metacritic score, while also ignoring that Halo Combat Evolved was a revolutionary creative endeavor, and this is a
Right.
remake with
Of
half
that
the
endeavor.
content of that endeavor. But they
Right.
somehow think that that's not supposed to
They don't talk
matter. It
about that.
still should be in the 90s, but
That
whatever.
crap.
Now, so far, I've only played the bonus missions. I'm like, I completed the first bonus mission, and I'm halfway through the second. Um, I have some issues, but I'll get through all the data on this before we start discussing our impressions on it. The premium launch didn't do, and the premium launch is the early access launch. It didn't do as well as Forza Horizon 6's did, which shouldn't be a surprise. At this point in time, Forza Horizon is a more popular IP than Halo is. We just gotta keep it a buck. Halo is considered the old man, the old guy, the old your dad's shooter, so to speak, which is fine. I'm fine with that. It plays older. It doesn't play like a lot of newer shooters out there, but it basically had half as many players who did the early access for Halo Campaign Evolved than the people who did Forza Horizon 6, according to Matt Piscatella of Circana. He stated that the launch active users, when it was of the standard edition that came out, got on that day, the 28th, 8% of Xbox's platforms, 2% of Steam, and only 1% of PlayStation. That's just a snapshot of the active players on the day of launch. That's not, total sales or anything like that. And another little tidbit here, a report coming out from Rebs Gaming, who clearly has a source with Halo Studios and has been leaking things that have turned out to be true, like Project Occur. His source states that Project Occur, which was supposed to be the evolution of the canceled battle royale that Certain Affinity, the support studio, was working on. Project Occur was supposed to be an extraction shooter that was canceled. and that apparently was canceled because players didn't want to play another battle royale or slash distraction shooter. It really goes on this report to blaming studio head Pierre Heinz for a lot of the turmoil that's been going on at the studio recently. Who they say he was acting as a creative lead and head of production while also doing his actual role of studio head, which I don't know if this is completely true or not. We'll have to see, as more people who in the know or actually work at Halo Studios comes out and speaks on it. But essentially, these are the things that's been kind of going on at this time. Forte, what are your thoughts on Halo Campaign Evolved that you played so far?
So I played the first 2 missions. So Halo and Pillar
The
of
actual
Autumn.
the actual
Yeah.
campaign. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't play the special missions yet, the 3 prequel missions yet, so I haven't done those yet.
Okay.
But
I'm sorry to interrupt, Forte. Before you get started, gentlemen, something just came up. I gotta run.
I
you're
understand,
good, bro.
man. It's already midnight, so yeah, we're running late, so I get it, bro. Go ahead, man. Do your outro real quick so everyone can know where to find you.
All right. Thanks a lot, everybody, for showing up and hanging out with us. Enjoy the rest of the show. You can find me, Ramon Terrell, Blue Sky, primarily Facebook when I'm on it. And enjoy your games. A lot of bad news. Try not to let it, kill your hobby, kill the joy in your hobby. Be thankful for what we got. Plenty of backlog. You can enjoy that. And have a good night. Have a great weekend. And I'll talk to you guys next week.
Later.
See you next week, bro.
Thanks a lot, fellas.
See you later, bro.
Next week.
And just as a reminder, Kingdom Come Delivery 2 is not a legendary RPG. That's why it lost. Just reminding you of what the truth is. Go ahead.
You also have to understand that my feelings aren't that wrapped up in it. So,
I just needed you to know that before you went to bed tonight. that you reminded of that one more time. That's all.
Lord have mercy.
Well, thank you for the reminder. I appreciate it. I'll try.
Thank you, SloMo, for reminding the man of his transgressions and not believing in that stuff.
Okay, sure.
Later, all right, John.
Later, bro. Yeah, go ahead and continue, man.
No, so yeah, I played the first 2 missions, and the first thing I'll say is I really enjoyed it. It was kind of some eerie stuff that was happening. First of all, those cutscenes need to be redone because they are.
Yeah, you notice they're locked to 30 frames per second, right?
Yeah, they're 30 frames per second, and it's like it seems like I don't know, man. Like it seems like the sync is off a lot with it too. Outside of that,
yeah, it transitions in because, like, let's say if you have a 4090, so you're playing at really really high frames. When that doesn't transition well when you go from actual gameplay at whatever frame rate, triple digit frame rate that you're playing at, and then it switches to 30 FPS. Like it's kind of like
it's super jarring.
It's very very jarring. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so that was one thing. And then the one thing, I don't know if you noticed it, but those beginning scenes with Sergeant Johnson when he's talking to the Marines inside and tell them you want to see a covenant, this is your lucky day.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they focused on him so hard to make him look directly into the camera. It was like super weird. I was like, it was like he was like doing like like the Old Spice commercials, like how he said, I'm a man. And then it just does like the whole thing was sitting on the pony, him just staring you in your eyes and stuff. And I'm like, this feels weird.
Mm.
That's what they were doing with Sergeant Johnson for some of the stuff. But outside of that, I really, really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the pacing. The thing that I feel like, and I actually went through the missions pretty fast because I only expected to stay up to do, because it was before I decided that we weren't going to the show because the movie theater was packed. But I said I was going to play one mission, and I played the first mission, but man, they sprint really, the sprint ability really makes the game feel smaller than it actually is, because they didn't scale the environments to being able to sprint. Because the environments are 1-to-1. Yeah, they're 1-to-1 with the original game, but you have this base ability that allows you to get around it faster, which I appreciate. I'm going to use it.
Yeah, but like the AI is still designed around with
around you not having that.
Exactly. So this is something that shout out to Hidden Xperia, who's a Halo content creator. This is something that he brought up when in his impressions of Halo Campaign Evolved. He said in certain sections of the game that it really kind of breaks the game because that you can literally sprint past the enemies. Because like they literally cannot like fire on you and stop you from sprinting past them because they weren't designed to do that. The AI in a lot of ways is still the exact same AI that from Combat Evolved, but you can't do that if you add in new gameplay elements, which like makes I like the fact that he had that to say about it, because there's like these Halo purists. It's just like you can't have sprint in Halo, and it's just like, well, I mean, you're a Spartan, bro. Like
you can have sprint in Halo.
It's exactly just, like your Spartan not sprinting doesn't really make any sense when he's supposed to be a superior human, but he can't outrun a regular Marine. Like that doesn't like a real life Marine. That doesn't make any sense. So I feel like they should just kind of gone a step further. They should have if you're going to evolve the Master Chief's abilities to kind of deal with situations, you should evolve the AI of the enemies to be able to deal with like the additional things that he can do. But my bad. Go ahead, man.
No, yeah, but like I said, outside of those things, like blowing the pins in 5 and all that other, like first, I'm gonna go to the very beginning. The first time and I have a really decent sound system on my PC.
Mm-hmm.
Going and launching it for the first freaking time, hearing the score with the Halo ring, I was like, this is it. I was like, this is it. Like listening to the chanting monks and the just the celestial music and like like this. I was sitting there listening to I listened to the soundtrack just of that one part on the ring probably for like 10 minutes because it was doing the whole little shader thing. And I was like, dang, this is like, I got even more pumped to play the game. And that just lets you know how epic the original music was for Halo.
Of course.
But the I like the added VO that they added. I mean, the VE they added for video effects. With the elongation of some of the cutscenes and stuff, you get the outside in space cutscenes with them jumping into orbit and everything. I really like that. I like the overall bridge communication between Keys and Cortana, all of that stuff, a lot more substance to it. I feel like, and I'm just kind of taking the fact that it was running at 30 FPS and being like, I'm just happy that they at least gave us more of that. And it looks really freaking good for like.
I have some thoughts on that. I'll let you finish.
Not to be a complete remaster. Now, there are things in the game that I look at and I'm like, they could have did this better. They could have did that better. But the overall cleanse of the palette looks a lot cleaner. But in some respects, because when you get into because like I said, I only did through the second mission. When you get into the actual installation of the ring, it looks too clean. It looks like it's like kind of all of the architecture that they had from the Forerunners kind of gets washed away a little bit and it kind of blends all together. I was just looking at the environments and stuff like that. It doesn't look bad. It just doesn't look as worn as this ancient ring that we found in this distant part of space that we jumped into by accident. It just seems like it was just built. And it is not like a gripe or anything. I think, you know, to some people they're going to think that looks really good, but from a person that originally remember what this looked like and the dinginess of it and everything like that, it's just they kind of, you know, spruced it up, like they put like a new coat of wax and paint on the wall and everything, and that just kind of, I won't say threw me off, but it was just something that I noticed. But I like the overall feel of the combat and everything. It's just that it feels kind of out of place in some places due to the sprint being there, and like you said, the AI not being able to keep up with it. I am playing it on heroic. I didn't go to legendary because, you know, I didn't think, and honestly, if I would have thought about the sprint thing beforehand, I probably would have played it on legendary, because I think that would kind of even it out a little bit more, because you take 2 shots in legendary, it's kind of a wrap because of how much damage you take. But I'm playing on heroic and I'm not having really any issues or anything with that going on right now. But I'm enjoying the game for the most part. And I'm going to finish it, and I'll probably play it more than once, because that's just kind of how I did in this. And it doesn't seem like it's going to be a long game due to the fact that I can get around the environments a lot quicker too, and I kind of know what I'm doing. But yeah, I'm definitely interested to hear what you got to say, especially when I said something about the environments and the look of the game. So what was your overall thoughts of, you know, what you played so far? Because I know you played a lot more than I did.
Well, I wouldn't say a lot more. I completed the first bonus mission. I wanted to do the bonus missions first before getting into the campaign, because like chronologically, that's kind of how the story plays
They
out.
set it up. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
they
set
set
it up
it
that
up, and
way.
plus it's like actual new content. And I've played through the Halo campaign, Combat Evolved campaign, a gazillion times. So uh seeing it with like a new kind of like, you know, visual glow up wasn't as exciting to me as playing brand new content. So I started with that
Right.
first. The gameplay you see on the jumbotron now is like the second mission. I
With the
think
prequel
it's,
missions.
yeah, the prequel missions, and this one's mostly outside, but like the first, like in it starts out with Sergeant Johnson and the chief invading together, just the two of them invading a Covenant ship. And so a few things, like, and I'm not trying to be like super negative,
Uh-oh.
but like Halo Combat Evolved's gunplay is better. Not Combat Evolved, sorry. Halo Infinite's gunplay is better than Halo Campaign Evolved. And that's disappointing to me, because Halo Studio slash 343 did Halo Infinite like 5 years ago. And
Okay.
so for the combat to be the gunplay to be worse. Now, something that I've noticed, and I think because this gameplay is post that first day one patch that fixed some issues. We fixed some issues with the AI, which was a little ridiculous on, especially on legendary. Like I played through the first mission, bonus mission on legendary, which, man, that was actually, I would say, a little bit more difficult than playing through the original Combat Evolves. Some of the stuff on Legendary, which isn't like, that's just one mission and not the full game, so I can't really say it's harder than Legendary Combat Evolved overall. Because like the library in Combat Evolved is no joke. You know, I can only imagine what the library is like in this on Legendary. Well, I'll have to see at some point. But this gameplay is on Heroic. I wanted to kind of see what the difference was between Heroic, which is like the step down from the highest
Yeah, you had
difficulty,
the same thought I had.
and
Yeah.
the highest. And I think there's a significant difference in how hard it is between legendary and heroic, like significantly different. So,
Oh,
but again, I beat the first bonus mission on legendary before the patch, and this gameplay, and then I actually ran through that first mission again on heroic, and it was way easier. I haven't done this mission, the second mission on legendary yet, so I'll have to see if the gap between difficulty is still the same. But regardless, there was an issue with hot swapping, with quick swapping your weapons, that I was just surprised that they released the game like that, because all of us shooter vets know, like, if you're in a firefight and the gun you're shooting runs out of ammo, you do not try to reload on the spot. That's a
Nope.
rookie mistake. That's what that's what bullet dumpsters do. I'll say that. That's what bullet dumpsters do. People who know shooters know you switch to your secondary and you keep firing. You can reload later. And if your aim is that trash and you run out of ammo with your secondary, then you try to evade and reload while keep getting, distance from your enemy so that you can survive until you can be able to start shooting again. For some reason, there was a problem where, like, I would be shooting, say, the battle rifle, and then run out of ammo, and I was trying to switch to my pistol or my secondary, and I would start firing, with nothing would happen. It would be like this, literally a full second delay, which is enough to get you killed, especially on legendary. And so I was like, man, is it my controller? 'Cause I like to swap my controllers all the time. I'm wondering, is the controller the issue? So I switched to a different controller. It happened again. It wasn't happening every single time, but it was happening enough where I was like, something's not right here. I was noticing it. And so when I switched to a different controller, and the same thing happened. Okay, so it's not the controller that's the issue. I restarted the game.
Mm.
It happened again after I restarted the game. I'm like, okay, so there's something going on in the game where, and I don't know, because, like, basically the way they got this game running is that it's on Unreal Engine 5, but it's really Blam engine, the Halo engine, running all the logic and all that stuff, as the foundation. And then Unreal Engine 5 is running over top of it, if that makes sense. It's very pretty much how Virtuous, I think is the name of the studio, did the remake of Elder Scrolls Oblivion. They did the same thing. They used Creation Engine as the foundation and Unreal Engine 5 as the running over top of it. Very, very similar concept. So I wonder if there was something going on there, but ever since post patch, I haven't had that issue, so that's fine. Um, Another thing that I noticed was explosions. Now, I wonder if it was an inside environment issue that was causing it, because when you're in these Covenant ships, there's a lot of, like, purple, like, bright metals all over the place, and apparently they're using Lumen in this, which is a feature of Unreal Engine, and Lumen has ray trace global illumination. Now the problem
Mm.
with that is that that's very, very demanding. So if you got, like, maybe not the strongest GPU, you probably weren't getting the most frames on PC with that. But people were noticing that what I'm about to bring up on console as well, where there's a lot of visual noise on screen. And I was seeing that visual noise even more than usual when a big explosion would happen. So let's say, I
You
run
played it
into
on
the
the S or an X,
well, I
or did you
haven't
play it
played
just
it
on
on the X at
PC?
all. I played it on PC. I was seeing this on PC.
Oh,
So
you were seeing it even on PC.
yeah, so
Oh, that's crazy.
what I think what was going on is that so to get kind of technical with this a little bit, um when the game's rendering an image, lighting, special effects, reflections, shadows, all that stuff is doing that, and the CPU is telling the GPU what to do, and the GPU is then rendering what the CPU says so that we can see those things. That's how that works, right? Now, what can happen sometimes? and happens a lot of times when it comes with ray tracing, is sometimes the GPU is not able to accurately tell especially when it comes to lighting and reflections, what's supposed to be there, especially if you're using upscaling and you're using something like performance mode, which is like it's now trying to, let's say you're trying to do 4K, but you're in performance mode, so it's actually starting at 1080p. It's rendering 1080p and then generating the additional pixels to get the 4K. The problem is that as it's trying to generate those additional pixels, it doesn't accurately know where those pixels are supposed to go, if you're following me. And so what ends up happening is that it creates this noise where even if you're not moving, you're seeing the image kind of being distorted. It's switching back and forth because the GPU can't figure it can't resolve the image to a solid like state. And it always happens in ray tracing when it comes to lighting and reflections. And this is something that NVIDIA had kind of fixed with what they called ray reconstruction. And ray reconstruction is a denoiser. It makes the choice of resolving the image. This is where these pixels are supposed to go. This is how this is supposed to look, and that's it. And it fixes it. There are denoisers for non-ray trace stuff too, not non-ray trace images as well. But when Unreal Engine is using Lumen, which is ray trace global illumination, but if the denoiser or Unreal, which Epic has its own denoisers for the Unreal Engine, are broken or not working correctly. Same way frame generation at launch for this was broken. Then you have this visual noise on screen where things look bad. People are complaining about chromatic aberration being enabled and not being able to be turned off in settings. That's like a no-no. Come on. Every PC game in existence has chromatic aberration on, but it's in the options to get turned off. You got film grain on. Those are in the options to be turned off. And every PC gamer immediately goes into the settings and says, I'm turning this crap off because I know it looks
Along with
worse.
motion blur.
Along with motion blur. Now, motion blur is in the settings, but
It is.
chromatic aberration and film grain are not, and they are present in the game. And it's just like, why would you not have that option to turn those things off? So there's a lot of little like technical issues with those things going on. And in addition to the fact that it's been proved by the Benchmark King, shout out to the Benchmark King on YouTube, that it is the game's using hardware based ray trace global illumination instead of software based. Now, hardware based is better, but when you have a very demanding game and you're not giving people the option, you didn't create an option where people can have baked lighting instead of ray trace global illumination lumen. It causes a problem, and clearly they didn't even do the options because Benchmark King figured this out by going into his GPU NVIDIA settings on one of his GPUs. I think he has like a 3060 or something like that, and turning off ray tracing at the global level so that it's not even the game can't use ray tracing in the game because it's not on for the GPU period. And when he did his side by side screenshots, like it looked terrible, like way worse, which kind of proved it's forcing ray tracing on regardless, which is just not it's just not a good choice. Now, that's it. I like the banter between Sergeant Johnson and Chief. I think the way in the bonus missions, because Chief does not have Cortana yet, that they figured because Chief is the strong silent type. He doesn't speak a lot. And there'd be a lot of like silence going on if he's just by himself. So they created a lot of like they got these other ODSTs out here, these other Marines, and you're seeing one on screen like Jumbotron right now. This girl's like leading the squad. She don't like Spartans, that kind of thing. Sergeant Johnson's there. He's kind of filling in as Cortana, as the voice in your head, the one that's speaking to you all the time, the one that's saying, "Hey, Chief, I gotta get this door open. Give me a moment," kind of thing, that kind of stuff. And so, but I think he is Sergeant Johnson, so the banter works. And I know some people thought it was kind of hokey, but I'm like, if you go back to Combat Evolved, like that
There's a lot of that in that too.
it is a lot of that. That's just like that's the dialogue of the game. So I'm not surprised by any of that stuff. So I was fine with it. I haven't gotten to the actual main campaign yet, so to kind of see the differences. I definitely want to try. Um, I don't know if you got the skull on that to get third person perspective yet.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, yeah, I want to get that skull and try that out, just kind of see how that feels. Um, but yeah, look, it's fine. I think the score of like an 81 is earned. I don't think it needs to be higher than where it is right now. I kind of wish it was more. I wish they would have had the
Mhm.
multiplayer. And I look, I would have even accepted because everyone knows I'm a big PvP guy, right? But like this game, I played this game with my friends.
They don't even have co-op, bro.
Like not
That's what
wait,
got
wait,
me.
wait. No. This has
Does it
got
have co?
co-op. Yeah,
Oh, it
yeah.
does. Okay, I'm about to
Yeah,
say.
this
I'm
has
about
got
to say.
co-op.
I didn't. Oh yeah, you're right. Cause it says co-op on the front screen. You're right. It does.
It's got co-op. It's got PvE. It just doesn't have PvP. But the
PvP. Yeah.
PvP is like that's the majority of the experience for Halo. Like I don't like the people who are just like campaign only don't seem to get it. Like the majority of the people who play Halo play it for both. It's not like Call of Duty where people are mostly playing it. Even before Warzone became a big thing, people was mostly playing Call of Duty for the multiplayer. They didn't really play the campaign like that. People will play zombies more than they played the Call of Duty campaigns. You know,
Yep.
Battlefield's campaigns aren't really played like that. That's not Halo. Halo's campaigns are played by a lot of people, but it's still not more than what people really go to Halo for, which is the multiplayer. People play both, but they spend more time in the multiplayer. And to come out with a Halo campaign evolved with no multiplayer, that's just like you gotta have an explanation for that. And it's kind of similar to how I felt about like other games that had multiplayer but then did not have them. You better have an explanation for that. There better be a reason. Now, if Project Occur was supposed to be your reason for it, if that was what was supposed to happen, is that was supposed to be out, and you're kind of trying to do what Call of Duty does with Warzone, where every time a new Call of Duty comes out, it changes what Warzone's doing. They may bring back an old map with new things, and you can use all the weapons from the new Call of Duty in this game, right? That's the new sandbox. Or all the skins that you can use in the new game can be used in Warzone, and all that stuff just builds upon all the other stuff you already got there. I get all that too, right? But like if that's what your plan was, but it got canceled, like it it kind of takes me back to how I felt about like what I said about Sony and the whole physical media thing. It's like, oh well, you got issues. Okay, well, so what? We all got issues. Like I, as a consumer, I don't care about your problems, bro. Like you didn't come out with multiplayer. And so when people think about Halo and you only give them half the experience, don't get mad when they give you half their time on it or less, because what they really came there for, they played through the campaign maybe a few times, and then they go jump on that multiplayer for a lot of the other time. And you didn't give them that. And you didn't even have something else to go to it. Like maybe adding, a version of these things in the Master Chief Collection. Maybe you update the maps like Blood Gulch and Hang 'em High from the combat evolved into Master Chief Collection and give them this visual glow up and all that other stuff. Like give us something. But you didn't give us anything. And so you get dinged for that because that's just, you're not even explaining why it's not there. And so that's just, just my thoughts on it overall. This stuff with I mean, look, I don't know what the sales are. We'll see. We'll see. You know, when in another month or so, how it starts selling overall. Um, but I didn't expect it to dethrone any of the other big games out there. Like it wasn't going to dethrone Fortnite or Roblox. Again, it's the dad shooter, the old guy shooter. We old people, bro. So you know the kids that aren't going to be really into this, especially if doesn't have any multiplayer. You know, they're going to just check out immediately. Maybe they expected that. I don't know, but that I think that should have been to be expected. The whole stuff with Pierre Heinz. Look, I don't know. I don't know what's happening there. Could it be devs with a bone to pick with him? Sure. Could it be true? Also sure. But I think in the grand scheme of things, if this game is successful, it's not gonna matter. If this game is successful, then the people that are angry, I legit think the reason why devs say these kind of things and they leak it to people with a platform is because things internally are not good for them. They feel no other recourse but then to leak these things to people with a platform so that the public sees it. They try to create change, whether
Yeah.
it's necessary or not, right? But you gotta understand who these corporations are. They don't care about fair. They do not care about uh, human resources, labor laws, all that other stuff. They don't care about none of that stuff. Are you making money? You making me money? If Pierre Heinz is making them money, Pierre Heinz is going to stay.
Yeah.
Period. And so if this game is successful, then all that stuff is for nothing. If it's not successful, oh yeah, we're gonna see some changes. And they're gonna be bringing this kind of stuff up. Well, you know, Pierre, you know, we wanted to give him a shot as a studio head. He just didn't seem to be able to handle all the additional duties, and the role is different now. It's not just like he revitalized the Master Chief Collection. It's a little bit bigger, trying to revitalize an entire studio and an entire IP. We're just a little above him, so we're just gonna move on. It's gonna be that kind of thing.
Hmm.
But all of that could be true, and the game turned out to be successful. They ain't gonna change anything.
True.
As far as they're concerned, it ain't broke, don't fix it. Even if he's cussing out devs, kicking people out of the studio, scaring everybody. He got Xbox executives needing a third party there doing meetings to kind of keep everybody accountable on what they saying. Like all that stuff is a bad look. But if he making money, gets away with it. So yeah. Anything else you want to say on this, man, before we get up out of here?
No, man, that's it, man. We'll see exactly how this all plays itself out over the course of the rest of the time.
Yeah, yeah. But like, yeah, let's end the show. It's been
Let
a
us
good
pray.
one. It has been how many hours now? It's been about over 3 hours, so we're gonna get up out of here. Forte, let everyone know where they can find you, sir.
Gaming Forte, YouTube, Twitter, Xbox Live, PlayStation, Blue Skies, DPS. Great show with SloMo. Shout out to Ramon. Know he had to take off earlier, but always happy to have him here. Make sure you go follow that man on his social medias or go buy his books. Really, really good voice actor, but also really, really good content with his books and stuff too. So check that out too. SloMo, great job as always. Hope you feel better from your ordeal yesterday. You know,
We ain't gonna talk about that.
we ain't gonna talk about it. But guess
We ain't
what?
gonna talk
I'm
about
happy. I'm happy that you're able to sit here and do this podcast today with me. Literally sit here and do this podcast with me.
Why do you have to
But
just
but have a good weekend, guys. Really appreciate you guys and everybody that checked out the show today. We'll see you guys next week for DPS on Thursday, and enjoy your weekend in the games you're playing.
Yeah, shout out to Ramon. He had to leave us a little early, but appreciate him coming through as always. Great show, great chat as always. You guys are awesome. Glad to be back. Even though we missed last week, I think we had a fantastic show. Didn't miss a beat. So,
Nope.
I would love to actually fulfill my words when I said I was going to stream the Directive 80/20. I'm still intending to do that. We'll try to see if we can get that done over the next week. But if not, we'll see you guys again next Thursday, hopefully next Thursday, and not delayed for whatever reason with one of the three of us in regards to schedules and whatnot. But the usual time. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Go see Spider-Man. It's awesome. I saw it earlier tonight with my two sons. We had a great time. I think it's one of the best Spider-Man movies ever. It might be the best Spider-Man movie ever. There's just one little caveat for me that I kind of don't want to give it that title, but it's hard not to because the movie's excellent. It's well worth a watch, so go check it out. I actually kind of want to go see it again, honestly. But
Let's go.
yeah, go do that. Touch some grass,
Touch some grass.
touch some other things, essentially,
Put it,
of course.
put it on the glass, girl.
And we out, man. Peace.
Peace.